A round of applause for each one of you present here for making your dreams happen and for making them successful. So this nationwide series of gathering is dedicated to empowering MSME sectors all over the cities, tailored specifically for the vibrant MSME ecosystem in Tier 2 cities of Bharat. The Aurangabad edition of this conclave aims to spotlight dynamic role of Maharashtra's MSMEs in shaping growth of our Indian economy. Our objective today is to build financially resilient and globally competitive MSMEs. Moving ahead, after 5 hugely successful conclaves in Indore, Bhubaneswar, Ludhiana, Belgavi, and Rajkot, we are here in Aurangabad to explore new growth opportunities that will lead us towards India's milestone, the India at 24/7 vision. We all are going to be part of this vision, and we all are here to work towards it collaboratively. So to begin this event, to open this session, I would be now inviting on stage Neha Devan, Assistant News Editor, Economic Times. Let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Thanks, Inasha. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the SIDBI MSME Conclave in Aurangabad. This is the final city in our 6-city series of events, which have aimed to give a voice to the MSME community and addressed issues that are of direct relevance to the sector. The conclave has presented a forum for MSMEs to exchange ideas, opportunities, and solutions that can help give the sector a leg up. Our events in Indore, Bhubaneswar, Ludhiana, Belagavi, and Rajkot have seen a host of such enterprises come together to discuss policies, potential, and the problems that are a part and parcel of an MSME's daily grind. When we speak of Aurangabad as a city, it has been a popular center of trading activity. Famous for being a center of silk and cotton textiles in the past, it still remains a significant city in which textiles prosper. After all, who doesn't know the Paitani sarees woven by hand and made of very fine silk? These sarees are famous the world over, epitomizing the strength and significance of India's handloom sector. Besides such rich and historic weaves, Aurangabad dons many other hats. A variety of firms in the sectors of automotive and auto components, pharmaceuticals and breweries, consumer durables, plastic processing, aluminium processing, agriculture, and biotech have their manufacturing bases in Aurangabad. A prominent MSME cluster, Aurangabad houses various auto parts manufacturing units in major industrial areas. The city has come up as one of the major auto manufacturing cities in Maharashtra. It hosts a group of industries and its ancillaries and forms one of the major auto clusters in India. The Aurangabad cluster is also involved in manufacturing diversified products such as plastic components, food and beverages, with a huge number of such categories being produced by SMEs. According to the Maharashtra Economic Survey 2022-23, the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra up to November 2022 had 236,844 micro-enterprises, 4,073 small enterprises, and 406 medium enterprises registered under the Udyam portal. Such numbers reveal the strength and might of the sector and how it has potential to leap ahead. It shows the leverage that Make in India can command when tapped in the right manner. We at ET want to know more about such businesses which are keen to make a difference. We want to know how they shine through the challenges and inspire others to do the same. Every year, we handpick such unique businesses and feature them for the MSME Day special series, detailing their strengths, challenges, and opportunities in store. We follow this up with our mega ET MSME Awards at the end of the year, which recognizes the best of MSMEs in varied categories such as most innovative, fastest growing, and top performing. Such enterprises have unique stories to tell, and we are only too eager to listen. Serving as catalysts for socio-economic growth, such businesses collectively pave the way forward for India to realize its aspirations as a $5 trillion economy and achieve more successes in the future. With the right push and intent, the potential to become big names in their own right. It is our endeavor to help the sector in that direction, a sector which has everything it takes to contribute to a progressive India. I once again welcome you all to this session and hope it brings in much value and insights for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha, for this opening address. So as she said, this event is all about making us all realize that we are working towards one goal, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India, and get recognized globally. So moving ahead, I would be now introducing you all to Mr. Prakash Kumar, DMD, SIDBI. Mr. Prakash Kumar took charge as Deputy Managing Director of SIDBI on November 7, 2023. Prior to this, he was the Chief General Manager in SIDBI and headed several important verticals such as NBFC, Microfinance Vertical, Direct Credit Vertical, Risk Management Vertical, and so on. He has also led the prestigious Poorest State Inclusive Growth PSIG project implemented by SIDBI. With over 28 years of experience across SME financing, microfinance, risk management, treasury, NPA management, business process re-engineering, and so on, Mr. Kumar has spoken about MSME financing and development-related areas at several conferences. And today we are honored and privileged that he'll be sharing the stage with us today and opening this event and talking more about the theme of empowering MSMEs. So let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Prakash Kumar on stage.
Thank you so much. Distinguished MSME entrepreneurs gathered here in large number, and industry association leaders, other stakeholders, my dear colleagues. It's an honor to be here at Aurangabad and speaking to all of you on this occasion of this MSME Conclave. We are indeed very delighted to partner with Economic Times to organize this series of conclave across the country. This, as was told some time back, this is the sixth event in the series at Aurangabad, and this was basically targeted towards the tier 2 cities, trying to tell you all what all efforts are being taken up by SIDBI for promotion of MSME sector. Now, as you may be aware, SIDBI is the principal financial institution in the country under the aegis of Ministry of Finance, Government of India, for promotion, finance, and development of MSME sector in the country. We not only do financing, direct lending to MSMEs, do a lot of other activities. We refinance to the banks and NBFCs, promotion and developmental activities, etc. And we try to reach out to MSME in a large number of methods and large number of ways. I'll be very briefly talking about an overarching thing of what SIDBI does and what SIDBI's plans are going forward in the near future. And my colleagues here, Sanjay Singh CM and Mr. Anjani, talking about details of various products which it has for them. Many of you may already be customers of SIDBI and maybe deal with us a long time. We do direct lending. We have a book of around 25,000 crore as on date. Direct lending book. We have a branch in Aurangabad. The plan is to actually increase this direct lending multifold. Has been discussions with Government of India. looking to grow this 25,000 crore to 1 lakh crore next 2 to 3, for which all of you sitting here have to play a very important role, looking at SIDBI funding assistance. Why you should look at SIDBI for your funding assistance, what I'm going to talk to you in the next maybe 10 minutes. Now, SIDBI is the only institution, perhaps in the country, which looks at all the 3 sides of funding to the MSME sector. What is that 3 sides of funding? One is the equity, the support to MSMEs, other is the debt, and third is the guarantee. Now, I'll pick up one by one what we do in these areas. For equity, we have been running equity program for a very long time through our wholly owned subsidiary, SIDBI Venture Capital Limited, through which we have invested in startups and other companies last maybe 20 odd years. But we have also tried to build the ecosystem for equity investment by supporting many of the state venture capital companies. In the past, running funds of fund through which we make investments in various alternate investment funds. And last 6 to 7 years, we are running a fund of fund for startups, a 10,000 crore fund, through which investments have been made in almost 130 plus equity funds across the country. It's a big support because the anchor support to these funds is being given by this startup fund of fund, and through which the whole funding is leveraged multiple times. If our support is 15%, maybe 6 to 7 times that funding gets leveraged through these. Happy to share that around the entire corpus of 10,000 crore has been committed, and the disbursements are close to 4,000, 4,500 crore, because as the funds mature, the disbursements happen. And almost 1,000 startups have been supported through this fund of fund ecosystem which has been created. And also happy to share that out of 131 AIFs which have been supported, 71 major portion of it is based out of Maharashtra. And out of the total units which are supported, 25% plus, so 227 odd units are based out of Maharashtra with the total support of 4,500 crore. So this is the equity piece that we are trying to leverage through this fund of fund ecosystem. Other than this, we have also launched a venture debt program. So all these startups and new kind of innovative enterprises, between the 2 rounds of equity, they look at some kind of a funding, which is an unsecured funding, which typically banks are hesitant to give this funding to startups. So the concept is venture debt, and SIDBI has started a venture debt program recently, last 1 year or so, and we are picking up these entities who are looking for funding support between 2 rounds of startups. The program is already on, and plan to make it a big program going forward. In addition to that, we have also partnered with incubators which are housed in reputed educational institutions like IITs and IIMs, and we have created a seed fund support with these institutions. So as you know, these incubators, many of the government benefits are being passed on through incubators, through grant, etc. The initial seed funding is given through grants, etc. Our objective is to top it up with an equity support, a seed funding support. So this entire management of this fund, which has been set up, which has been created at these incubators, is given to these incubators. And through this, we are able to give the initial seed funding to the startups which are there. So the entire ecosystem of startup is being supported in a big way. Right now, as I talk, Startup Mahakumbh is going on in New Delhi, where all the ecosystem players have gathered. And if India has to become a developed country, if India has to become a 5 trillion economy or 3rd largest economy in the world in the near future, the MSMEs in the startup ecosystem, has to play a very big role. Talking about the MSMEs, we all know that MSMEs today is a very important sector of the country, contribute 30% of the GDP of this country, 45% of the exports of this country, and by far the 2nd largest employer in the country after the agriculture. Now, for a developed country vision, all of you who are sitting here, you must know and realize that this contribution of 30% of GDP has to become 50%, going by the developmental countries' examples and index. So a large responsibility, a huge responsibility lies on the entrepreneurs like you who are sitting in this room, and agencies like us who are working in a dedicated manner support the MSME. That was the equity ecosystem. I'll briefly talk about the guarantee ecosystem which has been created. Many of you may be aware about the CGTMSE, the Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSMEs in the country, which is being run for almost now 15 plus years. And the cumulative guarantee issued so far has cost almost more than 5 lakh crore. Recently, a lot of changes has been made in this scheme. So now, earlier the guarantee limit, the loan limit was 2 crore. Only loans up to 2 crore were guaranteed. Now this limit has been enhanced to 5 crore. So for any MSME who wants to take loan up to 5 crore, there's no need for giving any collateral security. You can go and ask your bank to cover your loan in CGTMSE scheme, and the loans are supposed to be given collateral free. Not only the guarantee limit has been increased, and the guarantee fee also has been reduced drastically. It starts from 37 bips to around 60 bips for loans up to 1 crore and around 1.2% for loans above that. And in addition to that, there are concessions for special category of enterprises like women and SC, certain geography, the difficult geographies, and also those MSMEs which are Z certified. These kinds of entity get a 10% discount on the guarantee fee. All of you who are young and budding MSMEs who are setting up the units for the first time, you should try to take the benefit of the scheme. It is jointly run by the Ministry of MSME and SIDBI through the CG talked about. Talking about the direct lending, as I said, we have a current portfolio of 25,000 crore. We want to make it to 1 lakh crore. Now that 1 lakh crore will be able to achieve how many years is anybody's guess, but our aspiration is that should not take more than 2 to reach that figure. What we have done in direct lending, we have digitized the entire direct lending process of SIDBI. So now there's absolutely no paperwork. Everything starting from application, submission to documentation, disbursement, everything is online. Absolutely, there's no need for paper. You submit your application online to SIDBI, the assessment is done, site visits, etc. is done, and then that once the loan is sanctioned, the documentation, the e-stamping, everything is done online. In certain states, the e-stamping facility is not available. It will come in due course, but in many other states, that e-stamping is happening. Then disbursement request can be given online, and disbursements obviously happen. So this has brought in a lot of efficiencies in the processes. The turnaround time has decreased significantly. And going a step forward, we have also launched an express loan scheme. Express loan scheme is a straight-through process in which once you upload your basic data, your bank statement, your GST returns, etc., the loan is sanctioned within a couple of hours. Only as long as it takes you to submit all the data or upload all the data on the platform. As soon as you submit all the data and click the button, you get an approval. It's as simple as that. And we have started this for equipment financing, machinery financing, and this has given us very good result. It was launched last year, and the disbursement happens within 3 to 4 days. If you have any requirement for a machinery, you can actually go there and without any collateral, you can obtain this loan from SIDBI. So as you are aware, the major problem with the MSMEs is the working capital, and SIDBI, being a a developmental financial institution, not able to provide working capital limits to its clients because we are not a commercial bank. But to solve this problem, we have partnered with multiple banks, some of them like IDBI, Yes Bank, etc., wherein you can also avail a working capital facility from SIDBI. Current account is banks, and the working capital management is done by SIDBI. But again, going a step forward, we have also worked on a concept called invoice-based financing, which is what we call it GST Sahay project. Now, GST Sahay is something, if you are a GST registered customer, which all of you sitting here must be, this is a set of protocol which has been developed on Open Credit Enablement Network, OCEN, what we call it, in partnership with the online PSP loan platform, and iSpirit, which has been working on the digital public infrastructure of India. This pilot was done on RBI Sandbox with some very good encouraging results. and we have launched it very recently. Now here what happens is that you can avail financing against your invoices, both sales invoices as well as purchase invoices. If you are submitting your invoices on the real-time basis, if you fall in that category of the number of more than 5 crore, then you can use your sales invoices for getting a finance, or otherwise, if you're a small MSME purchasing from large distributors or any large corporate, you can get your purchase invoices also discounted. And the whole process is through an app. Your limit gets approved almost, as I said, instantaneously, as soon as you furnish all the data of your GST, bank statement, ITR, etc. The limit gets approved. The documentation is done online. And the invoice you can pick up, the invoice list of invoices will come, invoice you can pick up and get a discounting done. eNASH is registered online. So absolutely this end-to-end process does not have any manual intervention. Even the limits are sanctioned through a business rule engine without any manual intervention. Just now we have partnered with Ministry of Pharmaceuticals. You must have heard about the Jan Aushadhi Kendras, which is being set up and being promoted by Government of India in a big way. Now these Jan Aushadhi Kendras get their supplies from a government kind of a setup, and they are getting, we have partnered with them to provide funding to all the Jan Aushadhi Kendras for their purchase invoice. This program we are going to launch very soon across the country in all sectors. And we are hopeful that this platform will be able to solve the working capital problem of many of the MSMEs. There are some of the key initiatives as far as direct lending is concerned. My colleague, Anjani Srivastava, who is the regional in charge of this region, talking more as we go along about the various schemes of SIDBI. I'll also like to add here that we are, besides SIDBI being a developmental financial institutions, besides funding, we take up a lot of developmental activities across the country and a lot of ecosystem projects. Some of them, for example, if you heard about PM Vishwakarma project, the entire backbone of that PM Vishwakarma project, even PM Swanidhi project, is being supported by SIDBI. The process design and the software, the platform, everything is being supported by SIDBI. Also taken up an MSME formalization project. You get a Udyam registration, URC number, but the informal micro enterprises, they are not able to get themselves registered on the URC platform. For that, we have found a solution by creating a separate platform called Udyam Assist platform. And we are happy to say that this platform, which was launched just 1 year back, has been able to register 1.5 crore informal micro enterprises on the Udyam system. These kinds of projects we keep on doing. As a part of the policy advocacy, we have set up a project management unit at the Department of Industries, Maharashtra, and a 2-member team is sitting there. Whatever MSME policies are coming to your benefit that you can see on the ground, you can get a sense that somewhere SIDBI is working behind giving the right kind of input to the state government in coming out with policy. We are also, when I talked about equity, we are in discussion with Maharashtra government for setting up a state-specific fund. 100 crore fund is being set up. The discussions are in advanced stages. This fund again will be managed by SIDBI. An investment will be made in alternate investment funds, and AIFs will be asked to at least deploy 2x of this amount to startups in the state. These are the kind of initiatives that we have been taking, and feel free to actually interact with SIDBI. As I always say that you may be having facilities with any bank, with any of the, so many service providers are there, so many banks are there. The funding part of the MSMEs have been fairly democratized. Getting a fund for MSME is not that difficult, especially after coming in of GST, etc. The kind of data which is available, the credit bureaus, the funding is very easy for any MSME. But you must have at least one loan with SIDBI. This is what we have been talking about. You must have at least one loan with SIDBI to realize how SIDBI is different from other institutions, and also the various kinds of benefits which is coming in from SIDBI, experience other initiatives or other facilities SIDBI which I generally talked about. So with this, I'll stop here and let my other team members and wish you all the best. I wish a very, very enriching discussion. We look forward to feedback from your side also in this conclave as to what else is the requirement from the ground, which as a development can take it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful session. I request you to please be here with us on stage for a moment. We would like to thank and appreciate him with a token of appreciation. And for the same, I would invite Ms. Neha Devan on stage. A round of applause for Ms. Neha Devan and for Mr. Prakash Kumar. I would request Ms. Neha to present him a memento and an Akshay Patra certificate. The Akshay Patra Foundation strives to ensure that no child in India shall be deprived of education because of hunger. We also serve over 2 million children studying in 24,000 government and government-aided schools and Anganwadi centers across 72 locations in 16 states and 2 union territories of India. Currently, we are feeding 2 million children daily, and the mission of the foundation is to feed 3 million children every day by 2025. A round of applause for Akshay Patra Foundation for this noble initiative that they have taken. And today we all are some or the other way part of this noble initiative. Moving ahead, now it's time for our first fireside chat. And for this, I would now like to invite on stage the moderator of the session, Ms. Mayuri Dongre. A round of applause for Ms. Mayuri Dongre for joining us here today. So I would like to inform each one of you that we will have an open house discussion towards the end of the session. So whatever questions you have, you can mark them down and you will definitely get to ask them towards the end of the session. And now I'll be introducing you all to our panelists. So please put your hands together as I welcome on stage Mr. N. Estolkar, Joint Director, MSME DFO Aurangabad, to engage in a compelling conversation on Atmanirbhar Maharashtra. A round of applause for Mr. N. Estolkar for joining us here today.
Thank you, Anasha. Thank you, everyone, for the applause. And welcome, Mr. Estolkar, once again. So as Anasha also spoke to you, and what we are going to talk to you all about, or Mr. Estolkar, is the roadmap to sustainable development and the regional growth. So regional growth, when we come to Aurangabad, a lot of pressure on your shoulders, actually. I'm sure the DFO office is quite a busy office, especially when Aurangabad has so many industrial units coming up in this region, especially the Chikalthana or the Shendra, Varuz MIDC. Can we talk about the initiatives that the DFO takes and how the MSMEs in this region actually benefit out of it? What are the initiatives that especially the DFO office takes? And if you can name a few, if you can talk about a few, it'll help us understand, especially about the DFO office.
has come. Indian registration. Here it was issues or problems with our, especially micro, who have together have not taken that much care of registering their own mobile number, their own email address. Now, while migrating, they got the issue stuck up. So, right now, my office, not only from Aurangabad, but from Mumbai, Nagpur, throughout India, we are helping these kind of entrepreneurs, enterprises, to get their Udyog Aadhaar first, update their Udyog Aadhaar mobile numbers, email addresses to proper channel by Office of DC, and they can migrate to UAM registration. So, and after once they have get migrated, they can able to get the benefits of policies. Just now, I would like to congratulate. We are given an insight of SIDBI. Many more of us are not aware of what exactly SIDBI is going to help them. But now I think from here onwards, they also come up with the queries from how they will get the benefit of schemes from SIDBI.
So, we all, while coming here, I read a line which is very common. You also must have read it. And after coming here, I saw a few of the quotes from budding entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs. The line that I read was, leaders aren't born, they are made. So when a leader or when an entrepreneur actually comes up with an idea, he works upon it, there's a lot of courage that is required. But along with that, I'm sure an entrepreneur needs a lot of support. So the support that Mr. Kumar spoke about, the support that Mr. Estolkar is right now speaking about, all of that support actually makes an enterprise successful in the long run. So when we talk about these kind of supports, I'm sure the MSME DFO office actually helps get market taxes, credit taxes, or helps in the supply of raw materials, at least the knowledge of it. Would you talk about that? Also skilled labor, especially related to credit, if you can talk about that and talk a little more on what Mr. Kumar said.
Rightly says about 4 in this present, where the awareness is SMEs. The requirement there that mechanic so we are having our ministry is having technology center, Indo-German Tool Room Technology Center nearby only, and they can provide inculcate the trainings to the machine operators, to the supervisors, to their managers, and they try to resolve the issues of skilled manpower through their Indo-German tool rooms activities. Okay. Then market access, as you say, market access. So we are having one scheme, procurement and marketing schemes, under which we support industry associations like MASSIA, ISA, BIMTA, and to conduct huge exhibitions. Last year only, MASSIA has conducted a Magnetic Maharashtra at Chandra Auric Industry, and in Aurangabad city, ISA has conducted. And I would like to, I am happy to share with you that out of 600 units from Magnetic Maharashtra, we have reimbursed around 60 units through procurement and marketing system. And out of there are 350 or something or 180 from ISAs, we reimburse 58 units. 58 numbers of entrepreneurs are get reimbursement of their stall charges and contingency within the frame limit or guideline of procurement and marketing system. So this kind of initiatives and support, handholding support, is provided by our MSME Development and Facilitation Office, Aurangabad.
Yes. So I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs sitting over here have also benefited from these kind of schemes and these kind of initiatives. And I would like you all to, if you feel like applauding, please go ahead and don't, don't hold yourself. This is Aurangabad, and I want to hear the voice, the noise of Aurangabad here. All right. Going ahead, so you spoke about the development happening here. I also want to know about the SEZs. 5 SEZs have come up in this area, and there's a lot of economic growth that we can actually see happening over here, or the potential over here. Do you see more number of entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs coming up in this region, and how do you see the next 5 years in Aurangabad?
Ma'am, there is a more and more potential and scope for each and every entrepreneur who is present in this house or in Aurangabad, and not only in Aurangabad, in Marathwada region, to get the access through SEZ. They can come to our office or visit to state government's office, and they can avail the benefit, what are special benefits are available to these SEZ units, so that they can grow. They can not only even start up their units, but they can grow sustainably with the next five years plan.
Yes. So you see a lot of
I
economic.
will appeal, rather than I will appeal them to come ahead,
Yes.
and take the advantage of these different schemes.
Right. So, though you are not directly
Though we are not directly
associated with the SEZs, you are still helpful, and you will extend your support to these kind of MSMEs. So that's an excellent thing. Now, with the upcoming Maharashtra Samruddhi Mahamarg, now we are sitting in Aurangabad, and it's going to, in the next few months, it's going to actually cross Aurangabad and connect Mumbai to Nagpur. So do you think, as an Aurangabadkar and as a DFO officer, do you think this is also going to be a major infrastructural development that is going to help entrepreneurs, be it in imports, exports, any particular industry or sector that you think will benefit out of this?
Ma'am, as all of us are aware, that Samruddhi Mahamarga is a big catalyzer.
Yes.
Because what is the hurdle for my MSME units from Marathwada region to have a transport, the time and money which we are going to save through this Samruddhi Mahamarg. We are for that purpose, we are having in each district, our state government has district industrial export potential committees, and in that committee meetings also several times my colleague Mr. Sunil Raithatha sir has also has spoken about the wastage of money and time to deliver the goods from Jalna to Mumbai,
Right.
and to become then export. So this time gap will be minimized, which will help my product to go to abroad, and money in the form of dollars come to my Aurangabad region, Marathwada region.
Excellent. So we wish you all the best on that behalf. And in fact, if we talk about Aurangabad and the entire Marathwada region once again, the representation of MSMEs from this region is still a little, disproportionate. If we see the MSMEs concentration in Mumbai and Pune, it's about 41%. Whereas when it comes to the Marathwada region, it's just 1%. What is your thought on this? How can the DFO actually help in promoting entrepreneurship here? And do you see any challenges that the entrepreneurs are right now facing or MSMEs are facing?
See, ma'am, first we can't compare in this manner that Aurangabad is less populated MSMEs. Nowadays, more than 2 lakhs are registered, and unregistered are also there. So, first of all, this we can't compare. But still there are some challenges. Just now we talk about Samruddhi Mahamarg, the credit facilitation. And all these challenges, these small issues, which prevent our next generation entrepreneurs to come in the field. So right now our Prime Minister has launched, Sir has also mentioned that PM Vishwakarma Yojana, which is going to have a big change, going to bring a big change in the scenario, because all these businesses at 18 categories are there, and they will going to get hand-holding support or toolkit. Only at beginning there is registration issues, but nowadays portal is also working very good, and 3-stage verification is there. After completion of 3-stage verification, they will get training from Skill Development Ministry, and after training they will get rupees 15,000 as a for toolkit grant, and they can with the help of this scheme, they can get first tranche of loan of rupees 1 lakh with the rate of interest 5% only. See, this is how Government of India is going to give you the benefit only for doing businesses. If these categories, 18 categories persons come ahead and took this advantage, and if they repay the 1 lakh amount in 18 months, what was cap, then they are eligible for 2 lakhs loan, further loan for 2 lakhs rupees. That means they are going to get 3 lakhs rupees with rate of interest 5%. So this is the big advantage for all Marathwada region, not only Marathwada region, throughout Pan India. But I here take this opportunity with your platform and appeal all of the entrepreneurs to please promote this scheme in their nearby areas, and also help them to get them registered on common service centers on PM Vishwakarma portal.
Wonderful. So do you also think that with the infrastructural development that we just spoke about, so many SEZs, so many industrial units, Samruddhi Mahamarg for that matter, all of these initiatives and all of this logistical support that the government is providing, do you think this will actually help retain the budding entrepreneurs from here, create new entrepreneurs here, new MSMEs here, and also stop, in a way, migration from Aurangabad or the Marathwada region to the other regions?
One of the objectives of these different schemes, to promote industries in the districts so that the migration can be stopped, which will help to stop these migrations. If, see, we are having almost, in 8 districts, we are having district export promotion councils, and we are regularly conducting their meetings under the chairmanship of collectors. And through, not only from industries, but pharmaceutical sector, then agricultural sector is also going to help through these DEPC meetings, so that new entrepreneurs can think about the or incubate the new initiatives, new ideas, and come up as a startups in their districts only, in Marathwada region. And so that once then they not need to migrate to Pune, Mumbai, or rather to Aurangabad also, from nearby districts.
Yes, and certainly it's going to also create a lot of employment in this region, and economic development thereby. So you spoke about one new initiative by the government. Do you also want to talk about any other new initiatives that will help the MSMEs in this region?
Yeah, right now, these are whatever we have talked since time. All these are new initiatives only. Now due to code of conduct, we can't go for furthermore, which already we have in public domain, that much only we can.
But you are assuring us that there are many new initiatives.
I am also hopeful that many new initiatives will be going to come, and which will help my MSMEs to become Atmanirbhar and help all of them to grow and become India to Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Okay, so one more important thing that we spoke about is along with growth, we are also aiming at sustainable growth. So for sustainable growth and a greener economy that India is actually looking forward to, looking at Aurangabad or the entire Marathwada region for that matter, there is a lot of dependence on fossil fuels, or there is a lot of coal-based industries or automobile industries that generate a lot of pollution. So how do you plan to curtail that? Is there any awareness program that you go through?
Yeah, ma'am, actually, in the past, our Prime Minister has given us a thought that industry should produce a zero defect product, and which the product which produce zero effect on pollution. So keeping in that mind, our ministry has come up with MSME Z, zero defect, zero effect scheme, sustainable scheme, to address these these issues and promote industry's awareness to the clean and green energy. I take this opportunity to urge all these MSME units to get themselves registered on MSME zgov.in portal, so that they can avail the benefits in not only in financial term, but also to create an environmental free and means zero defect free atmosphere in the entire ecosystem. So they will get the benefit of micro units can get 80% subsidy, small units get 60% subsidy, and medium units get 50% subsidy in through Z categorization. And as sir rightly says, that SIDBI is also promoting the Z categorized certified units with some benefits under CGT MSc. So they can avail this kind of all kind with the different schemes, different initiatives and subsidies from state government is also. They are also providing in different states, different subsidies, initiatives has been provided by the state government. Similarly, on that ground, our Maharashtra government is also working, and they will also come up with new subsidies and initiatives to the Z certified units.
This is really wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Estolkar, for giving us insights into what exactly the DFO is working at and how the MSME ministry is working towards the upliftment and helping the MSMEs, the new entrepreneurs, and for any of your challenges, any of your hindrances that you face, you can always, they are open enough to open their doors to you, and you can always connect with them. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
Next time when I come to Aurangabad, I am hoping for a much more developed and a much more economically growing and buzzing Aurangabad and Marathwada region. Promise from everyone?
Yeah.
Thank you.
On behalf of industry associations, all entrepreneurs, I will promise you. Yeah. And I once again thanks to Economic Times and SIDBI for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here. I request you to please be here with us for a moment. As a token of appreciation on behalf of ET and SIDBI, I would request Mayuri Dongre to present memento to Mr. Estolkar. A round of applause for sir for joining us here and sharing this insightful session with us. So moving ahead, the next session is on fostering micro-entrepreneurship in Aurangabad, unveiling potential within key manufacturing sectors. And for the special address, I would now like to invite on stage Mr. Kishor Devidan, President, Jalna, Laghu Udyog Bharati. A round of applause for Mr. Kishor Devidan for joining us here today.
थैंक यू। सभी उद्योजक मित्रों का मैं किशोर देवीदान, लघु उद्योग भारती जालना, आप सभी का हार्दिक हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। संक्षिप्त में मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि कल का औरंगाबाद यानी कि आज का संभाजी नगर कैसे हम जैसे लघु उद्योगों के लिए फर्टाइल लैंड है, जो हमें विकास के लिए विभिन्न अवसर प्रदान कर रहा है। छत्रपति संभाजी नगर का अपने आप में एक ऐतिहासिक महत्व है, जैसे कि यहाँ की अजंता इलोरा की गुफाएं, बीबी का मकबरा, यहाँ के पुराने बुलंद दरवाजे, जिस वजह से इसे सिटी ऑफ गेट्स भी कहा जाता है। यहाँ का शैक्षणिक योगदान भी बहुत महत्व रखता है, जैसे डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आम्बेडकर विद्यापीठ, अभियांत्रिक विद्यालय, मेडिकल विद्यालय। इन शैक्षणिक संस्थाओं ने बहुत बड़ा स्किल्ड मैन पावर समाज को देने में पिछले 60 से 70 वर्षों में अपनी भूमिका निभाई है। मित्रों, यहाँ के इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन ने संपूर्ण मराठवाड़ा को विश्व स्तर पर एक नई पहचान देने का कार्य किया है। और अब मैं यहाँ के प्रमुख कुछ औद्योगिक क्षेत्र के बारे में आपसे वार्तालाप करूँगा। जैसे कि फर्स्ट वन आता है ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर। सर्वप्रथम ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर जैसे ही आता है तो हमारे नज़रों के सामने आती है बजाज ऑटो, स्कोडा, ऑडी जैसी विश्वविख्यात कंपनियां, जिन्होंने इंड्योरेंस टेक्नोलॉजी लिमिटेड और वेरॉक इंजीनियरिंग लिमिटेड जैसे ओएमसी को जन्म दिया और उन्होंने सैकड़ों एमएसएमई कंपनियों को अपना वेंडर बनाकर लाखों लोगों को रोजगार दिया है। उसी तरह सेकंड वन आता है ऑटो कंपोनेंट सेक्टर्स। ऑटोमोबाइल में चाकन के बाद वालूज में हब बनाने की कई महत्वपूर्ण एमएसएमई, छोटे वेंडर्स, प्रेस शॉप्स, टूल रूम, डाई कास्टिंग यूनिट, फोर्जिंग यूनिट जैसे अनेक इंजीनियरिंग उद्योगों को भी यहाँ चालना दी है, जिन्होंने बहुत रोजगार दिया है। वैसे कुछ फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्रीज जैसे कि स्टरलाइट, वोकहार्ट, अजंता फार्मा, ल्यूपिन जैसे इंटरनेशनल फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनियां यहाँ उपस्थित है, जिन पर कि अनेक केमिकल सप्लायर, लेबोरेटरीज सप्लायर तथा मैन्युफैक्चरर डेवलप हुए हैं और हजारों लोगों को रोजगार तथा विशेष स्किल की डेवलपमेंट का मौका मिला है। इन सब के साथ ब्रेवरी इंडस्ट्री मराठवाड़ा में नाथ सागर के मीठे पानी की क्वालिटी की वजह से विश्व के कई बड़े स्पिरिट मैन्युफैक्चरर ने छत्रपति संभाजी नगर को अपना प्रोडक्शन हब बनाया है। आने वाले समय में इथेनॉल का प्रोडक्शन जिससे कि गाड़ियां भी चलेंगी का बेस यहाँ ऑलरेडी तैयार रहने के कारण यह इंडस्ट्री भी बहुत जल्दी सेट हो जाएंगे। प्लास्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज, ऑटोमोबाइल, व्हाइट गुड्स, वाटर स्टोरेज टैंक, ऐसे कई उद्योगों ने यहाँ प्लास्टिक मोल्डिंग इंडस्ट्री को बहुत बड़ी संधि दी है, जिससे कई एमएसएमई इंडस्ट्री में कार्य करी थे। मुझे गर्व होता है कि हमारे बीच उपस्थित है हमारे सीनियर डायरेक्टर श्री सुनील भाई रायथट्टा सर, जो कि विनोदराय इंजीनियरिंग प्राइवेट के लिमिटेड है और जो जालना जैसी एक पिछड़े सिटी में बोलूँगा मैं, जालना जैसे सिटी में बैठकर विश्व में 40 से ज़्यादा देशों में अपने रोटो मोल्डिंग मशीन एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं। यह एक छोटे उद्योग के लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है। साथ ही जैसा मराठवाड़ा बोले तो औरंगाबाद बोले तो जालना का नाम जैसे ही आता है तो आपके सामने आता है स्टील उद्योग में पोलाद, कालिका, राजूरी, आइकॉन, एसआरजे ब्रांड्स आते हैं। स्टील उद्योग में हिंदुस्तान के अंदर जालना ने अपना एक रुतबा बनाया है। रायपुर के बाद अगर सेकंड वन नाम है तो जालना है, और ये वही जालना है जिसने फिल्मी जगत के बादशाह अमिताभ बच्चन को अपना ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनाया। यानी जालना जैसी छोटी सिटी में अमिताभ बच्चन जैसे बड़े स्टार को ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनाया। ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी बात है। सीड्स इंडस्ट्रीज पे लेंगे, पिछले लास्ट 50 ईयर से नाथ सीड्स, जालना का नाम आते के साथ महिको सीड्स, सफल सीड्स, कलश सीड्स, इन्होंने भी विश्व के एक नक्शे पर एक अपनी एक नई पहचान दिखाई है और हजारों किसानों को रोजगार बनाकर भरपूर फसल देने की गारंटी ली है। डीएमआईसी दिल्ली मुंबई इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर, डीएमआईसी कॉरिडोर को इस तरह से स्ट्रेटेजिक जगह पर जालना और छत्रपति संभाजीनगर के बीच बिडकिन में लगाया गया है कि हजारों एमएसएमई को डेवलप होने का मौका मिलेगा तथा जालना से आने वाले ड्राईपोर्ट तथा मल्टी मॉडल ट्रांसपोर्ट हब का पूर्ण उपयोग होकर एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट में बहुत आसानी से सभी उद्योग काम कर पाएंगे। ये तो हमारी उपलब्धि हो गई थी कि हमारे पास क्या है क्या नहीं, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट से भी मैं चाहूँगा कि हमें कुछ उनसे अपेक्षा है। मैं कंप्लेन नहीं करना चाहूँगा, मैं चाहूँगा उनसे हमें कुछ अपेक्षा है। जैसे कि हम बात कर रहे हैं लघु उद्योग की, मीडियम उद्योग की, सूक्ष्म उद्योग की, और छोटे छोटे उद्योग को ग्रो होने को बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम है। अगर हमें छोटे छोटे उद्योग को ग्रो करना है तो हमें सबसे पहले जरूरी है प्लॉट्स, भूमि, जगह चाहिए हमें, जो कि हमें बहुत कम, जैसा 3000-4000 स्क्वायर फीट में भी हमारा काम हो सकता है। ऐसे छोटे छोटे प्लॉट देने के लिए गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटी ने प्रायोरिटी पे देना चाहिए। और ये जो हमें प्लॉट्स देंगे तो वो टोटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करके देना चाहिए। जैसे विगत दिनों प्लॉट्स दिए गए लेकिन 10-10, 15-15 फीट के गड्ढे हैं और उन गड्ढों को भरने में ही हमारा पैसा लग जाता है। तो मेरी सरकारी डिपार्टमेंट से ये गुजारिश है, अपेक्षा है कि आप हमें डेवलप्ड प्लॉट दिए तो बहुत ज़्यादा हमें डेवलप होने के लिए बहुत मदद साबित होंगी। साथ ही मुंबई और वालूज में छोटे छोटे वेंडर्स के लिए 200-300 स्क्वायर फीट के एक गाले बना के दिए गए हैं, जो बिल्डर द्वारा बना के दिए गए हैं, और वह 200-300 फीट के अंदर गाले के अंदर वो बहुत ज़्यादा डेवलप हो रहे हैं। वही संस्कृति को हमको मराठवाड़ा में, औरंगाबाद, जालना, बीड़ वगैरह सब जगह देना चाहिए। ये एक है मेरा। तथा एमआईडीसी में परमिशन के एक खिड़की व्यवहार होना चाहिए। जैसा क्या होता है कि एग्जाम्पल, अगर हम एक आधी ऑयल इंडस्ट्री है, उसको कोई चीज़ की परमिशन लेना है तो वो परमिशन के लिए उसको 6 महीने लगते हैं, राइट? हमको कोई बोलना नहीं, उसमें 6 महीने लगते हैं, 6 महीने लगाए। लेकिन सेम चीज, सेम परमिशन अगर दूसरा कोई लेता है तो उसको 6 महीने क्यों? क्योंकि पूरे सब डॉक्यूमेंट्स वही है, सब कुछ वही है। तो अगर गवर्नमेंट वो चीज़ को 10 दिन, 15 दिन, 20 दिन में देंगी तो ये उद्योजकों के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा मददगार साबित होगा और उद्योजक काम करने में बहुत ज़्यादा डेवलप होंगे। उद्योग की जान बिजली, लाइट के बगैर हम कुछ भी नहीं है। तो एमएससीडी द्वारा हमें निरंतर बिजली का सप्लाई होना चाहिए, क्योंकि पावर फ्लक्चुएशन के कारण या ब्रेकडाउन के कारण अगर लाइट जाती है तो हमें हेवी प्रोडक्शन लॉस का सामना करना पड़ता है। और दूसरी चीज, सबसे बड़ी चीज, कि हमारे पास में महाराष्ट्र में खनिज वगैरह की कोई सुविधा ना होते हुए भी अपने बहुत ज़्यादा डेवलप्ड है हमारे पास। पर महाराष्ट्र से दूसरे कंपैरिजन करें, हम एमपी, झारखंड वगैरह करें तो वहाँ बिजली के रेट आधे है और हमारे पास डबल है। तो आज इसके कारण हमारे यहाँ से जो उद्योग है वो ट्रांसफर हो रहे हैं दूसरे प्रदेश में, तो इसके तरफ भी ध्यान देना चाहिए। एमआईडीसी में आजकल आग लगने की घटना भी हो रही है, तो हर जगह, हर एमआईडीसी में एमआईडीसी द्वारा अग्निशामक यंत्र गाड़ी का व्यवस्था करी जानी चाहिए। ड्राईपोर्ट, जैसा भी बताया, अभी बात चल रही थी हमारे भाई के साथ में, इटोलीकर साहब से, कि ड्राईपोर्ट के बारे में बात चल रही थी। ड्राईपोर्ट और आईसीटी कॉलेज आने के कारण हमें बहुत ज़्यादा लाभ मिला है, यानी मिलने वाला है। आईसीटी से मिल रहा है, ड्राईपोर्ट से मिलने वाला है। लेकिन जो हमारे उत्पादन को हमको एक्सपोर्ट करना है और एक्सपोर्ट करके जो उसका बेनिफिट उठाना है, तो उसके लिए हमें हमारे प्रोडक्ट को फॉरेन के प्रोडक्ट की कैटेगरी का बनाने के लिए हमें थर्ड पार्टी इंस्पेक्शन भी करना पड़ता है, और वह थर्ड पार्टी इंस्पेक्शन की सुविधा अपने मराठवाड़ा में नहीं है। तो वह सुविधा हमें देना चाहिए, क्योंकि आज हमें थर्ड पार्टी इंस्पेक्शन के लिए जलगांव या और नासिक वगैरह जगह जाना पड़ता है। और जैसे कि एक्सपोर्टर एक्सपोर्ट करता है तो उसे एक 2% इंटरेस्ट रेट की सब्सिडी दी जाती है। तो मेरी गवर्नमेंट से गुजारिश है कि जो नए उद्योजक आते हैं तो उन नए उद्योजकों को पहले 5 साल 2% अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट की सब्सिडी दिए तो ये उनके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्पिंग टाइप में हो जाएगा। ये थोड़ी मेरी अपेक्षा थी गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा। और जैसे कि सीडबी और एमआईडीसी, सीडबी के साथ हमारे बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे रिलेशन है। सीडबी लघु उद्योग भारती के के हिसाब से सीडबी इज़ द बिग ब्रदर ऑफ लघु उद्योग भारती। पिछले 5-7 साल में हमने 1-2 सेशंस सीडबी के द्वारा अरेंज भी किए हैं, जिससे हमें बहुत ज़्यादा लाभ भी हुआ है। और एक सिंपल एग्जांपल दूंगा कि मराठी में बोलते हैं ना कि सोना करना, वक्त को सोना करना, यानी टाइम का सोना करना कुछ, तो वैसा कि हमारे एक मित्र है जो सीडबी के कस्टमर भी है, हमारे डायरेक्टर भी है लघु उद्योग भारती में। उनका कोरोगेटेड बॉक्स का यूनिट है जालना के अंदर। वो कोरोगेटेड बॉक्स वीडियोकॉन को सप्लाई करते थे, कंटिन्यू सप्लाई करते, आना जाना चलते रहता था। वहाँ बैठे परचेस ऑफिसर के पास बैठे तो रिलेशंस बनते गए, तो उनके प्रॉब्लम को समझने का उनको मौका मिला कि यानी वो कोरोगेटेड बॉक्स वीडियोकॉन को सप्लाई करते थे, तो वीडियोकॉन में उनको यह समझने का मौका मिला कि वीडियोकॉन वाले को कॉपर कॉइल लगती है और कॉपर कॉइल कोई नॉर्थ साइड का व्यक्ति देता है, लेकिन वो अपनी शर्तों पे देता है। जो टाइम पे चाहिए वो टाइम पे वो दे नहीं पाता, जिसके कारण वीडियोकॉन को अपने कस्टमर को बोलने के लिए बहुत सफर होता था। तो हमारे मित्र ने ये बात यानी टाइम का फायदा कि अपन अगर वो चीज़ शुरू करे तो, और मुझे कहते हुए खुशी होती है कि वो टाइम पे उनको एमआईडीसी ने मदद की, लैंड दिया, और सबसे बड़ी बात जिसके बगैर कोई चीज़ होती नहीं, पैसा, सीडबी ने बहुत बड़ा सहारा दिया। और आज जो वीडियोकॉन को, मित्सुबिशी को, स्टरलाइट को, तोशिबा को जो एसी के पार्ट्स, कॉइल वगैरह सप्लाई करते थे, आज वह ऑल ओवर इंडिया में एप्रोकुल नाम से एसीज देते हैं। ऐसे हमारे मेंबर है जितेंद्र जी राठी। तो यह एक सीडबी की देन है, बहुत अच्छी देन है। अब मैं ज़्यादा बोलते ना हुए मैं आभार मानना चाहूँगा इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स का, सीडबी का, जिन्होंने लघु और मध्यम उद्योगों को के प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए एक देशव्यापी गोष्ठी का आयोजन किया। जैसा कि आपने बताया 6 जगह इसका आयोजन हुआ। 100% ये सब चीज़ का हमें बहुत ज़्यादा फायदा होगा। गवर्नमेंट तक भी हमारी बात जाएंगी कि हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है, और आपके इस प्रयास से निश्चित ही हम आने वाली चुनौतियों का सामना करके और ज्ञान का आदान प्रदान कर राष्ट्र के विकास में अपना योगदान देंगे। अगेन धन्यवाद इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स और सीडबी मुझे आमंत्रित करने के लिए। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here. I request you to please be here on stage for a moment. To thank him for his insightful session, I would now invite on stage Mr. S.N. Singh, CGM SIDBI. A round of applause for Mr. S.N. Singh for joining us here. I request sir to present a memento to Mr. Kishor Devidan for his presence and for sharing this insightful session with us. A round of applause for Mr. Kishor Devidan, highlighting the issues faced in small cities along with the opportunities that are there in SMEs small cities. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you. ahead, now we are moving towards an exciting part. But before that, I need to bring some energy back into the room so we all are, ready and excited for that part. So all of us, being small business owners, have started from the ground and now reached to the top. So this activity, this small exercise is dedicated to each one of you present here. So it's going to be very simple. When my hand is here, you guys will start clapping softly. As in when my hand goes up, the noise of your clap should also increase. Are we ready to do this? Can I hear a louder yes? Are we ready to do this? All right, let's do a demo round. Let's start with soft claps, everybody. Come on. Soft. Thank you so much for being here with us. On that note, now we are moving ahead towards an exciting part. So as they say, an idea can change the world, but what we believe in is an idea that is backed by the right support and right funding and right investment is actually what makes a difference in the world. Keeping that motive in mind, SIDBI has recently released several large value loans to enterprises in Maharashtra. Some of their businesses will be given symbolic term loan checks and sanction letters today. And to present these sets of checks to entrepreneurs, may I request Mr. Prakash Kumar and Mr. S.N. Singh and Mr. Anjani to join us on stage. A round of applause for all the dignitaries present here with us today. To begin with, I would now like to invite on stage and congratulate Yogesh Plastic Industries. Can we all put our hands together and make some noise for Yogesh Plastic Industries? Congratulations to Yogesh Plastic Industries. So I would like to request Yogesh Plastic Industries to join us here and share their experience in few lines with us. We would all love to hear it, and you guys sharing your experience definitely motivates us. So I would request the team to join us here and share a few lines on their experience with us. A round of applause for them for joining us here and making their dream a success.
हेलो एवरीबॉडी, मेरा सिडबी से मेरा ये सेकंड लोन है. पहले वाला लोन था वो छोटा सा, अभी सिडबी ने हमें बहुत बड़ा साथ दिया. अभी हम और तरक्की कर रहे हैं और बड़ा प्लांट लगा रहे हैं और सिडबी से अच्छा मेरा अनुभव है और सिडबी सबको अच्छा सा ट्रीट करते हैं और अच्छे से आगे बढ़ाने का बहुत सारा सपोर्ट. थैंक यू सिडबी, थैंक यू.
Congratulations to your entire team. Moving ahead, the next I'm inviting on stage is Krush Narang Creations, and they have got a loan of 40 lakh rupees. Can we put our hands together and make some noise for the entire team of Krush Narang Creations? So we would request you to share a few lines on your experience with us.
थैंक यू फॉर सिडकी. ये मेरा भी सेकंड लोन है. पहला लोन लिया था मैंने 2 साल पहले, वो अभी चालू है. उसके बाद भी सर ने मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट किया है सिडबी ने. तो इसलिए थैंक यू सो मच फॉर सिडबी. थैंक यू.
Congratulations to you and thank you for joining us here. Next I'm inviting on stage is Kishor Deep Tube Manufacturing. Can we put our hands together and make some noise for Kishor Deep Tube Manufacturing for getting a loan of 90 lakh rupees. Sir, I request you to please share a few lines on your experience with us.
So, unlike others, this is my first loan with SIDBI, and I'm really very happy with the whole process. It was very quick, very responsive team, and very smooth, very transparent. So, I would recommend everyone to go ahead with SIDBI in the future needs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much and congratulations to you and your entire team. Moving ahead, next I'm inviting on stage Dhanashri Enterprises for getting a loan of 225 lakhs. Can we put our hands together and make some noise for the entire team of Dhanashri Enterprises? So 225 lakhs, that's quite an amount. We would definitely want कि आप कुछ share करें हमारे साथ. आपका experience कैसा रहा और अभी तक का आपका ये journey कैसा रहा?
मी पहिलेच लोन घेतलेलं आहे, मराठीतच बोलतो सगळ्यांना.
बट सर एक चीज़ तो सब यहाँ पे जानना चाहेंगे आपसे, लाइक 225 लाख का जो आपने यहाँ पे लोन लिया है, आपकी जर्नी जो अभी तक की रही है शुरुआत से लेके अब तक, तो आपकी वो कैसे रही है जर्नी? क्या डिफ़िकल्टीज फेस की और क्या आप कहना चाहेंगे बाकी के जितने भी बिजनेसमैन हैं, बिजनेस ओनर्स हैं, कैसे वो सक्सेसफुल हो अपने बिजनेस में और कैसे उसको टॉप तक लेके जाए?
नमस्कार सर्वांना. आमचं म्हणजे पहिलंच लोन आहे. छोटे मोठे आम्ही लोन घेतलेले होते, पण मला सर्वात म्हणजे असा आनंद होतो की आमचं स्वप्नपूर्ती लोन आहे. कारण की मी शब्दसुद्धा सांगू शकत नाही. आमच्या मोठ्या स्वप्नांना आधार देणारं लोन म्हणजे आपल्या सिडबीकडनं आम्हाला भेटलेलं आहे. मी खूप खूप आभार मानेन सर्वांचे आणि विशेष म्हणजे आमच्या सरांचे. त्यांनी खूप सुंदर आम्हाला मार्गदर्शन केलेलं आहे. एवढंच बोलू शकते मी. नंतरला खूप सुंदर बोलेल अजून आणि अनुभवसुद्धा खूप छान सांगेल मी नंतरला. कारण की आता आमचे म्हणजे काय सांगायचं म्हणायचं तर सुरुवातच आमची आहे. तर म्हणजे मी आता बोलू शकत नाही, पण मी पुढच्या म्हणजे आमचं हे पूर्ण होईल त्यावेळेस मी खूप सुंदर असं तुमच्यासमोर आमचं सगळं व्यवस्थित सगळं सांगेल आणि खूप मी आनंदी आहे. थँक्यू सो मच.
थैंक यू सो मच. आप दोनों को congratulations and thank you for joining us here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Prakash and Mr. Anjali. Thank you for joining us here. I would request Mr. S.N. Singh to please be here with us for the next session. So the theme of next session is empowering MSMEs and ONDC collaboration. And for that, I'll be introducing you all. Hello, check. Shri Sanjay Narayan Singh. He's a banker by profession with 33 years of experience in the areas of development banking, credit venture and venture capital, risk management, institutional finance, and human resource development. Shri Singh is also an engineer from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Mumbai, and has done his postgraduate diploma in business management from IIM Lucknow, specializing in finance and marketing. He joined SIDBI in a year, May 1991, as a management trainee and is presently a Chief General Manager heading the HR Administrative and Premises verticals of SIDBI. Let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. S.N. Singh.
Good evening, the leaders of MSME, promoters, and the leaders and office bearers of the Industry Association, Estolkar Saab and Mr. Devidan. We have a presentation which basically, as the title says, it's nurturing MSMEs. That's the role of SIDBI. So it's a big picture of what SIDBI is doing pan-India. And in the next presentation of Anjani will narrow down to what is relevant to MSMEs in this particular region. But the topics which are covered here, being pan-India, is also relevant to all who are present here, all of us here. So MSMEs, of course, we are well aware. The numbers like 6.33 crore units, and together they contribute about 30% to the GDP of the country, 45% of exports. So the importance of MSME is well known. We are proud, all of us present in this room, to be part of this ecosystem. So let's look at ways to make this ecosystem more vibrant. That's the focus of everybody in this room, as well as SIDBI. Of course, this data is also a little dated, I think more than half a decade old. So maybe over this period of time, it's become much more dynamic, and I'm sure. The profile is, we all know, so diverse, constituting the nano units on one hand, which is the virtually the informal segment, as we say. There are the startups and the modern units and the well-established enterprises, which are a little larger, the medium enterprises. A large proportion of them are in service sector, as we understand, trading, manufacturing, and it's so diverse in terms of the industry that is covered. So SIDBI was set up under an act of the parliament, and started its operations in 1990, April to 1990, and there's a wide spectrum of schemes through which SIDBI has extended credit to the MSME sector, which includes institutional finance, which is the refinance which is extended through banks and BFCs. We extend loan to MFIs, who in turn cover the microcredit borrowers. We have direct credit. There's a focus today on green financing. The dimension of assistance was, I think, quite well summarized by Prakash Kumar ji when he had said that it's the equity assistance, direct lending, and guarantee through which SIDBI extends its assistance to the sector. So very briefly, we'll detail some of these aspects in the coming slides. It's prominent, it's important that we focus on how credit is being enabled through the digital means. So there is the SIDBI platform, in fact, together the various mechanisms through which data is collected, which is the GST data, the bank statements, the ITR, and so on. And it's these tools which have been used when SIDBI, as an enabler in the MSME ecosystem, extends credit, extends other supports to the sector. So there is SIDBI's own credit platform, which is the Udyog Mitra platform, and that has, kind of revolutionized the the mechanism through which assistance flows to the MSME sector. The key ones, for example, is the PM Swanidhi program. I think it's not come out very well here. Yeah, it's at the bottom here. It's the PM Swanidhi and the PM Vishwakarma program, which Estolkar have also mentioned about the PM Vishwakarma program. So that's on this platform called Udyami Mitra that has enabled these other platforms to be spawned. The PSB loans in 59minutes.com, which is a platform floated by online PSB loans. So that has enabled quick loans to be extended to MSMEs. Major lenders, over 30 banks are available on this platform. And through the journey which happens on this online PSB loans, through that the MSME borrowers can, get an in-principle approval of their loans on this platform. It's also important to mention that online PSB loans, that's the company, manages the Jan Samarth and the Jan Suraksha programs of the government. The Udyami Assist platform, which is the third platform which is being run by SIDBI, is what the Ministry of MSME has taken, the benefit of to extend, the registration of the informal micro enterprises. It's also important the various initiatives of the government as far as greening of the industry is concerned. So the initiatives in the MSME sector being such a large segment of this industry is also important. So in this regard, it's important to mention the partnership which SIDBI has built. So it's not credit. So credit is, something which is available to the industry as far as greening of the industry is concerned. What is important is to take the initiative and derive not only the economic benefit of it, but also, the social responsibility of reducing the impact to the environment. So the impact which SIDBI has till now created, and of course it's on mission mode as far as various sustainability measures are concerned, but it's already kind of, taken initiatives to enable setting up of 160 megawatt of solar power capacity in the country, and 1800 gigawatt hours of energy savings has taken place. The various missions or projects which have been put into place for encouraging sustainability importantly includes, about, I think, 2,500 crore of solar rooftop projects in this financial year, FY24, which SIDBI has achieved. Similarly, 2,000 crore of energy efficiency projects was another mission for FY24, which SIDBI has achieved. 50,000 EV, electric vehicles and electric charging stations was a target which SIDBI wanted to achieve, I think, in the current financial year or over next 2 years, is also something which I think possibly SIDBI has reached half of that target. So 25,000 EVs or charging stations is funded by SIDBI either directly or indirectly through various NBFCs. The other visions of waste to environment is an important initiative to help MSMEs to get finance in respect of waste reduction. This is enabled through a risk-sharing facility which SIDBI operates for its various green financing programs. nurture T nature, which is nurture to nature or nurture tech nature, is a list of projects or technologies which SIDBI has housed and regularly updates and promotes. These are the technologies which would enable, sustainability or green financing of this ecosystem. Similarly, the GRIT program is a program for inclusivity, so that the very small micro enterprises who otherwise would not be able to easily get benefit from the system, from the regular financial mechanisms, or get hold of the government programs. So to those micro units and artisans, need-based hand-holding support is provided by SIDBI through various agencies. For example, a program has been started at various centers. One which comes to mind is in Moradabad, where the initiative is to convert coal-based furnaces to gas-based furnaces under this particular program. An important initiative which SIDBI has taken with various state governments is SIDBI Cluster Development Fund, where infrastructure is being created for MSMEs in this cluster, which are financed by SIDBI. And 5,600 crore of loans have been sanctioned to 111 projects across the country under this program. In various cluster interventions, there is also a requirement for soft thematic intervention, which is something which is supported by SIDBI in the various clusters which has been covered under this program. The role of SIDBI in supporting startups and venture capital, as Prakash ji elaborated, has been quite important, and Government of India has also reposed support and faith in SIDBI in efficient delivery of the various programs, basically the startup funding program through the Fund of Funds. So after the Fund of Funds from SIDBI, various state governments, including Government of Maharashtra, has committed funds so that support goes to startups in the various states. So about 6-7 states have already joined SIDBI, and their funds being deployed in startup through the alternate investment funds, the AIFs. Again, the Investor Connect portal is also like various other portals which essentially democratizes credit in the sector. The Investor Connect portal is also where the startups can connect with the various AFIs and pitch their proposals through this online route. So digital public infrastructure, it's an important mechanism. It has these kind of segments or rails which are important for identification of the unit and dispensation of credit. So there is the identity rail, there's payments rail, the data sharing, which is important in respect of MSME units, and the risk scoring, which is essentially today it's been driven by data and statistics, and increasingly by machine learning and AI. We are aware of these, the identity being the various identity and the mechanism through which the identity gets determined. The payment mechanism is well established now with UPI, RuPay, the NASH mechanism, QR code, and so on. The data sharing, which there is of course the Credit Bureau, which we understand, the account aggregator mechanism which is coming into place, and the OCAN network, which was alluded to by Prakash ji also, which is and working with iSpirit. The various programs of the bank essentially uses some of these technology platforms to enable credit and improve the customer experience. Very briefly, let's touch upon this Prayas scheme, which is a method of put in place by SIDBI to reach the very small informal segment. So under this scheme, small loans, this is the loans which is essentially given to a segment which we term as missing middle. The smallest borrower takes money from the MFIs. That's the microcredit loan, typically loan up to around 35,000, 50,000 or so, or sometimes going up to rupees 1 lakh. But beyond that, up to 5 lakh is a segment where many of these MFI borrowers would, the microcredit borrowers would have graduated to, they were now looking for a little more credit coming to them, which was not available earlier in the system, or at least was not available at a reasonable rate. Borrowing could happen at 24%, 30% or whatever, some very high effective interest rate. But through Prayas mechanism, SIDBI has taken initiative and over the last about 3 years built partnerships with various microfinance institutions, banking correspondents, aggregators and so on to extend credit to this segment. And it's significantly a digital mechanism. The MFIs touch the borrowers, so that's the physical touch point. But beyond that, the whole process is digital. The KYC, using the various digital tools, essentially the KYC, this person, the documentation and the disbursement, everything happens online. GST Sahay is something which, again, Prakash ji had touched upon. So, with the methodology of, a simple mobile number GST and the consent-based pull of the data, which happens from CIBIL or such CICs, GST data, and the loan documentation, which again takes place electronically, so the whole process is digital. It's app-based, and therefore the invoice presentation happens in the digital platform, disbursement, repayments, and both for the sellers and the buyers, there is an app-based MIS dashboard which is available to them to see the transactions, as also the positions of, what is the outstanding and things like that. This is a pilot which is now at a fairly advanced stage. It happened in RBI sandbox, as was mentioned, and it's something which is expected to be a game changer. The SIDBI's Express Loan, a facility, I think, which Anjani would elaborate on a little more, is a straight-through process where loans up to rupees 3 crore based on a journey which happens on a digital platform. A loan could be extended to the borrower. If it's an existing borrower, the journey is very, very simple and straightforward. If it's a borrower new to SIDBI, the only physical touch point is visit by SIDBI's officer from the branch to the unit. Other than that, all the process is a digital process. So it improves transparency for everybody, and all in all, the customer experience. ONDC is an important initiative of the government where it's the UPI of the e-commerce space. it's again democratizing the e-commerce, and what it hopes to do is to, as I said, dramatically change the e-commerce penetration. We understand e-commerce typically as a buyer on Amazon or Flipkart platforms, or some of us would have used India Mart or some such platform for B2B kind of transactions, or at least locating the sellers on the platform or the buyers, and then doing the transactions. Here, the various pieces of the transactions are enabled on a technology enabled platform which has been provided by ONDC, and various service providers can join the platform either as a seller platform or as a buyer platform. This particular slide focuses on the fact that on digital platforms, there is only 5 to 6% of the total MSMEs who have, who use any of the digital platforms. So the penetration is very, very small as compared to other global benchmarks, which is where in certain countries it averages at 20%. So there is a scope of at least growing 5%. And if we look at UPI as an example, India is a leader in the world as far as UPI payments is concerned, which means through the digital platforms, it's possible to break the shackles of whatever we say the Indian mechanism or mindset and go beyond. So a global benchmark of 20% would not be a limitation, because in India, we take to technology like fish to water, should I say. Since ONDC is a technology enablement platform, and it's I think the next slide is important. It sits somewhere in between, where number of seller platforms can join and use this technology. For example, for UPI, there are so many service providers, whether it's Paytm or PhonePe and so many others, who are there in business to customers as well as business to business kind of transactions. The same concept has been built in by ONDC, where various selling platforms can join or use the ONDC technology and get the sellers onto their platforms. Through ONDC, various buyer platforms can join ONDC platform, and in turn the consumers can connect through this platform to the various seller platforms. Now, so what it enables is, there is no limitation of perforce going to a particular platform for seeking the products and services. One can, through any buyer platform, reach any seller platform. It is totally transparent, and therefore be able to compare prices and services across the various platforms to a much larger segment of the products and services which are available. So as it's said in a gist, the multiple seller and buyer apps will use a common protocol. Overall, like in UPI, there will be a significant reduction in the overall cost structure in the system, and therefore the delivery is expected to be much more competitive. What is relevant to this particular segment is the B2B transactions where MSMEs can join. On B2B, more than 2 participants have joined on the seller side, whether it is Batch, which is from Sign Catch, or Place Order, which is a Rapidor company. So they are on the seller side as well as the buyer side on the ONDC. Now, what is important is, unlike a business to consumer platform on ONDC, which is something like, it's a single app. And the experience is like, let's say, Flipkart or Amazon, and it's evolving, it's developing over a period of time. In B2B, there is a separate app on seller side, so seller will use a separate app, and there is a separate app on the buyer side. So as a buyer, I would use a different app. And more are expected to join. For example, Spice Money and Bizom, they are in the process of joining on B2B on the buyer side, and similarly Spice Money and DI on the buyer side rather. On this ONDC platform, some 15,000 artisans have been onboarded by SIDBI. So SIDBI has taken initiative, and through various agencies they have encouraged 15,000 artisans on this platform. So it's worthwhile for any of us to actually go to this platform, which is as a consumer, which is available on Paytm platform. The ONDC is available through Paytm as well as My Store, and look at the products of MSMEs which are listed there. As far as B2B is concerned, the MSMEs would find it worthwhile to study the buyer and seller side, and as it evolves, join the ONDC platform. It's worth, I think, having a look at. The key benefit which it will accrue would be that there is limited choice for sellers to be online. So this expands that. Today, if somebody joins a platform, there is a limited ability for them to set their own terms and conditions. On ONDC platform, there is a much greater flexibility. It would also enable credit, probably because of a larger set of logistics companies joining the platform, reduce the overall logistics cost, and therefore improve the margins for the B2B sellers on this platform, and be more cost effective for the buyers. ONDC platforms stitches the whole value chain in the sales or the procurement process, and therefore is expected to be a game changer. So with this, I think in a success, the key initiatives, hopefully I was able to bring forth. So if there's a QA session, or maybe we can have it afterwards. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here. I request you to please be here with us. A round of applause for Mr. S.N. Singh for sharing these insights with us today. And as a token of appreciation, I would request Ms. Neha Devan to come forward and present him a memento. A round of applause for Mr. S.N. Singh for joining us here. Moving ahead, in the next session, we have a panel discussion where our distinguished panelists will deliberate on the theme of empowering Aurangabad's MSMEs, the role of cluster development in enhancing productivity and competitiveness. Being part of this industry, we all know the biggest challenge that we face in our growth is competition, as well as increasing our productivity while fighting with the cost. So that is what we'll be discussing now in this panel discussion. And once again, I would like to invite on stage Mayuri Dongre to moderate this panel. A round of applause for Mayuri Dongre for joining us here today. I would now welcome and invite our panelists on stage. Let's put a round of applause for Mr. Anil Patil, President of Marathwada Association of Small Scale Industries Association and Agriculture. I would now invite Mr. Sunil Raithatha, Managing Director, Vinodrai Engineers Private Limited. Also join me in welcoming Shivani Bagdai, founder, TriChambers. A round of applause for Shivani ma'am for joining us here today.
Thank you, Anasha. Welcome, panelists. Mr. Anil Patil, President of Marathwada Association. Anasha has already introduced them, but let me again welcome them on stage, Mr. Raithatha and Ms. Bagdai. Yes, so we are talking about clusters, especially in Aurangabad, and how it is propelling the development in Aurangabad. So to begin with, we just discussed about how the numbers in Maharashtra and Marathwada are slightly imbalanced. We've also seen, I mentioned that most of the entrepreneurs want their setups to be in bigger cities where the kind of facilities that they would get would be much more easier. So do you think now when clusters are set up and there's more of support being given to the MSMEs, do you think that this is actually a good development and things are changing here?
First of all, I'm very thankful to Economic Times and SIDBI. Cluster movement is like nowadays you can see that one product is there, Bharat Sarkar. उसमें एक एनडीए और एक इंडिया एक क्लस्टर जैसा ही है, तो कंपनी के लिए प्रोडक्ट्स जो आता है वो एक एमएसएमई एक खाली कंपनी नहीं बना सकती, उसके लिए क्लस्टर अप्रोच होना. अभी एमएसएमई और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, उन्होंने बहुत सारी स्कीम्स दी है और सक्सेसफुली इन संभाजीनगर एरिया, औरंगाबाद एरिया, वी आर रनिंग सक्सेसफुली. Around 5 to 6 CFC, common facility centers are running very good. One of the is Marathwada Auto Cluster, sir is as a director is there. Then Khawa Cluster, then Plastic Cluster is going on. And other than this CFC, we have successfully completed around 12 clusters, that is system clusters. And around 120 companies were get benefited from that. All were MSMEs, and they now come to the best practices in the world. Okay. So there is benefit from clusters, and I will be very thankful for government for that supplying.
Okay. Sir, can you please in detail tell us exactly what happens in a cluster? How are the facilities or infrastructure shared, and how is it benefiting the entrepreneurs in this region? अगर आप इस पे कोई खास example, कोई खास ऐसी चीज़ बता सकते हैं, any memory, any particular unit that had, or any particular sector that has benefited specifically due to this practice?
Yeah. हमारे कुछ जो मेंबर्स मराठवाड़ा जो क्लस्टर की बात करेंगे, उसमें कुछ मशीनरी नॉट सिंगल कंपनी कैन बाय, वेरी स्पेशल यूनिक मशीन्स, imported machines. So when the cluster formed, that management brought good machines from foreigners, and that benefited to that cluster members. So we could supply the correct or quantity and quality product to the customer.
Correct. Mr. Raithatha, as a managing director of Vinodrai Engineers, I would like to talk to you, and from an entrepreneur's perspective, we would like to understand how is this cluster development actually helping entrepreneurs and the shared infrastructure. How is everyone benefiting from it? How is it being seen as the future in this region?
First of all, I thank SIDBI and Economics Times for arranging this and inviting me from Jalna. Regarding cluster, actually, I will just give few examples. Actually, I will give first example. Marathwada auto cluster. Myself, I have seen my first 3D printing machine in auto cluster, way back 10 years back. And today in Marathwada, there are more than 20-25 3D printing machines all around the MSMEs actually. So, common facility, particularly in cluster, it helps to infuse the technology also actually. Those technologies which are not available right now, and it's a futuristic technology. One another example I will give you. Auto cluster brought here in Aurangabad first laser cutting machine actually. And today there are 7 laser cutting machines in Jalna itself, and more than 30-35 laser cutting machines in Aurangabad. So, bringing a future technology and infusing it into the SME is a very important role of cluster.
Okay. So, Ms. Bagdai, if I can come to you. Shivani, how do you think that, how can MSMEs plan to leverage these opportunities that have been created for the entire sector? And, do you think that there is some kind of a problem? There's a limited know-how of how to maximize the potential of these clusters?
I think to be able to plan better, MSMEs definitely, I think there's a gap in what is being provided and what is being utilized. I think something that we saw across all of the talks that happened today with SIDBI and with Mr. Estolkar was primarily focused on the fact that a lot of these schemes are available, and we need more and more MSMEs to step up and take advantage of them as much as possible. So bridging this particular gap between what is there and how you can take advantage of it, and see beyond just the direct advantage of what can be taken. I think a lot of times we see just immediately what is in front of us, and we'll end up ignoring the other benefits that these kind of schemes can provide to companies in the long term, as Sir said, in terms of technological infusions and where that future will take us. So I think to be able to not just get access to the know-how, but to be able to fully understand what the benefit of this cluster can be for MSMEs, I think that is a very important step for us to be able to move ahead.
Yes, so that's wonderful, and not that it is very difficult now that so much of support is being provided by either SIDBI or by the Ministry of MSME. Availing these benefits is also not that big a challenge. Do you agree, sir?
Because of this cluster, we can arrange skill development programs, the required manpower, the skill required for our companies, factories. Also, the updated knowledge, which is advanced knowledge, advanced technology, we can get through these clusters also. And in India, we are having around 40 crores of youths, which are in 18 to 30 age group. So MSME is the only area where it could be get employed. And due to this cluster movement, our entrepreneurs will get benefited, and they will accommodate this manpower.
So do you also think that because of this development, it's natural that, you know, once a lot of entrepreneurs start coming in, it is definitely going to uplift the lifestyle of people over here, more of economic development, and thereby a lot of income generation is going to happen in the next few years in this region. The cluster development is actually adding to that?
Yeah, certainly, madam. It's now just started. Now more clusters are to be processed in this area. Like Devgiri Electronic Cluster is there for electronics parts. Now we are thinking about a defense parts cluster and a drone cluster. And here in Marathwada, we are having one factory of railway. But we couldn't get the job at this time. But when we will make the cluster with help of MSMEs, we may get parts of railways, that is Vande Bharat train and other things. So there is huge potential for this. Thank you.
Yes. So Mr. Raithatha, as I can see that you have actually started your business quite a few decades ago, and you've been, you know, you've seen the challenges throughout. Looking at a few years ago, I mean, either it is Jalna, the entire Marathwada region, or Aurangabad. Now, when you see the difference, do you think it's easier for the MSMEs today, especially with cluster or the other kinds of infrastructure facilities that are being provided?
Yeah, definitely. Initially, cluster was meant for having common facilities, basically. Having common facilities for a group of industry. But over a period, cluster basically, it increases the market also. Today, there is no company on this planet, no auto company in planet, which is not sourcing one component from Aurangabad actually. So it creates a market actually. It creates a market. When we very easily say that Aurangabad is a auto hub, but how it became auto hub actually? And it has a gravity. For example, I will, many of the audience also may not realize, Jalna is a TMT bar cluster basically. Just Mr. Devidan has said that Amitabh Bachchan is brand ambassador for one of the TMT bar. But 10% of the India's TMT production is being done in Jalna. 10% of TMT bar. So it is because of the cluster ecosystem. Cost of production basically goes down. Market has a gravity to fall on the cluster, and advantage of scale of production. It gets. I have traveled to many Chinese cluster actually. There are thousands of industry making furniture within 8 to 10 kilometers of area actually. So that brings production cost down. Earlier days, Ulhasnagar was one of the furniture cluster basically. So cost of production was going down. What I think that our clusters are focused on domestic market actually. But future belongs to international market, not just domestic market actually. Our MSME should cross the borders, and our MSME has a potential to become a exporters basically, exporters. I think one of the presentation was showing that 45% of India's export is being done by MSME. And Marathwada region, it's a 10%. So we are not even at national average. So there is a huge potential that MSME from this region should first catch up the national average and maybe then better than national average later on.
Wonderful. So like you said that we should now in this region focus on exports. I remember just a few minutes ago Mr. Estolkar also spoke about how the Samriddhi Mahamarg can help us achieve that in terms of exports, and he also said that the dollars should start coming here along with the rupees. Do you think we are going that way already? This is going to help us?
I think there are a few examples set in this region actually. One of the example I will say Grindmaster actually. So they are exporting to Japan, they are exporting to US, they are exporting to China, and very high quality machines they are exporting it from Aurangabad. But then there are only few cases actually, few cases. We need to really multiply this. Dry port, connectivity to port is really very, very important. Most of you may not realize what is going to happen after the port really starts operating. I will just give one example actually, one example. I have a competitor in Faridabad, sitting in Faridabad. I am sitting in Jalna, Maharashtra. JNPT belongs to Maharashtra. It belongs to India that way, but then it's a part of Maharashtra. My container goes to JNPT with the charges of around 40,000 rupees. और फरीदाबाद से कंटेनर JNPT जाता है 24,000 रुपए में actually. Just because Faridabad is connected to JNPT by railway. And I am exporting by road. So this connectivity is going to make a huge difference. Dry port in Marathwada is going to change the landscape of the Marathwada. I am 100% confident after 10 years you come, Marathwada will become a export hub actually.
I can see the picture already. Thank you so much for actually making us think forward and dream bigger. I would also like to come to you again about dreaming bigger. But Shivani, now since we are slightly aware of the challenges that the MSMEs are facing here, what do you think companies like or organizations like TriChamber can advocate in terms of policy changes or measures to be taken in terms of bettering the facilities for or policy changes in terms of for MSMEs?
So what I have noticed at least, or what we have noticed in our experience, is that wherever you are centralizing everything, not just infrastructure development and production capacities, but where you're also inculcating education in your young workforce, where you're also inculcating a marketplace right within the region where this cluster-based development is happening, that has the potential of putting you on the map globally. We work with one of our clients, we do management consulting for them, and they are a textile manufacturer based out of a very small town in Uttar Pradesh called Badoi. And it's a town, a lot of people have not heard of it, it's an industrial town, but it's called the carpet city of the world. And the reason it is called the carpet city of the world is because there is an ecosystem that they have created over there, where they'll do trade shows every year. They get the biggest buyers in the world to come down to this town called Badoi and visit your biggest manufacturers of carpets to your smallest manufacturer of carpets with equal opportunity in an all-inclusive manner. You'll also see that they've established special economic zones there to assist the companies and ease of doing business. What they've also done is that they've given back to the community. They have empowered weavers and they have taken the responsibility. Each individual business has taken the responsibility of treating their laborers well and fairly, and of taking active measures to give back to the community so that they can perpetuate what is now a dying art form of handmade products. So what I would say is that it's not only just policy intervention. I think it is a mixture of a lot of different types of organizations, a lot of different types of players coming together. Pretty much how they have come today. We have industry associations here. We have finance assistants over here. Yes. We have opinions and viewpoints from a lot of different areas. And it's till everyone doesn't come together to create this ecosystem, and especially an ecosystem that gives back to your community where you have come from. It's going to be very difficult, to sort of keep pushing forward.
Yeah, so since you said it's going to be difficult, it's going to be a challenge, can you also put some light on how long do you think this it takes once this mission is created? Does it take really long to create that kind of an ecosystem?
I think, what they say, like Rome wasn't built in a day kind of situation. I think that for some of the most successful clusters, even in India, or even if it is in Israel with the IT sector over there, or if it is in China with the manufacturing sector over there, or South Korea with semiconductor, it's years and decades of effort, but it is very coordinated effort. I think today we've heard so much about how we can access loans, we can access financing online digitally, which wasn't possible earlier. Right. But this is possible today because from years we've been doing a Digital India initiative. Right. And today everyone has a smartphone in their hand, and so it is possible for us to do it. So it's not that we don't celebrate the small victories, but we know that when it comes to growth and development, I don't think there's any foreseeable end. I think it's only forward.
Yes, so let's be hopeful. If Bhadoi has carpets, we have Pattani here in Aurangabad. So let's hope for a better future for Pattanis and for the weaving industry, especially in this region as well. Now, I would like to talk about entrepreneurs or startups or small industries. Setting that up, having that dream is not an easy task. Taking that risk is not everybody's cup of tea. I cannot take that. And I'm sure there are a lot of people here who have not gone that way because the risk, the kind of, the way you have to pursue your dream and believe in your dream is not something that everyone can do. And what most of us over here have done is, if they have not been able to see that dream or take the journey of entrepreneurship, they have been a support system to this entire journey. So now when you have a big support, you have the entrepreneurs, you have that, you have the entire platform set in this region especially. Do you see that sentiment changing? Do you see, especially Mr. Raithatha, I would like to ask you, when you began, I'm sure there were very few entrepreneurs who would also have fear in their head that, okay, the roads are not proper, there's no proper electricity. Starting on this entrepreneurial journey would be a very challenging task. Do you see that sentiment changing today? Do you see more number of MSMEs wanting to jump into this?
I will not like to deal with my memories actually old. It has gone actually. There is no point in going back and saying the situations were
just today,
very difficult.
It has changed.
But if you see today, I am a chairman of one of government engineering college in Nanded, having 3,500 students. In last 5 to 10 years, situation is changing drastically. Dreams of students are no more छोटी मोटी नौकरी कर लेंगे, ये ड्रीम अभी किसी का नहीं है. शार्क टैंक has made a big difference actually. We are showing a dream of entrepreneurship in the student, but we should have a large number of incubation center also actually. Just showing the dream and not supporting it with the incubation center, I think will create a problem. Chamber of Commerce here, CMIA, has promoted first private incubation center, Magic, and I am one of the director of Magic. I know that in very remote villages also, people are coming to incubation center. Okay, I have an idea, I have an idea, I have an idea. So we need to create a support system for this new ideas coming. Maybe out of 10 new ideas, 8 will not survive. Let us assume. But even if 2 survives, so they will become a unique. They can become a unicorn actually. There could be many unicorns, not just from Bangalore and Pune or Mumbai, Delhi, Noida. It can be in Aurangabad, it can be in Jalna also. We need to make a good ecosystem incubation center. I am really proud to tell you that India's first incubation center in ITI, many IITs are having incubation center, but the first ITI incubation center, Magic and Government of Maharashtra, both are putting up an incubation center at a ITI in Jalna. And this ecosystem of incubation center is really need of our हम youth के mind में, because of access to mobile, access to all information, उनके dreams जो है ना, हमारी speed को match, हमारी speed को उनके dream से match करना पड़ेगा. ऐप के ऊपर लोन हो जाता है, ये सुनने के बाद में मेरे को मेरा पहला जो लोन था एक्सपोर्ट का, मेरे को याद आ गया कि कितने पापड़ बेलना पड़ते थे, तब जाके एलसी के अगेंस्ट में लोन मिलता था. बट टुडे ऑल फैसिलिटीज, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज गेटिंग इन प्लेस एंड नेक्स्ट जनरेशन
is benefiting.
Is going to perform actually. We must believe in them.
Correct. Yeah. And Mr. Kumar also told us how easy and how now it's not a challenge at all to avail a loan. A few of our entrepreneurs also availed the facility right here, and we can actually wish them on their journey. Mr. Patil, you were saying something.
सर ने बहुत अच्छा बोला कि जो आने वाली जो पीढ़ी है वो कुछ अच्छा करना चाहती है, एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना चाहती है. लेकिन मुझे थोड़ा एक अफसोस है गवर्नमेंट का. गवर्नमेंट अप टू द मार्क नहीं है. आगे आप अभी 4th पिलर है डेमोक्रेटिक का, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, यू कैन रेज दैट पॉइंट. अभी भी हम बिजली के लिए झगड़ रहे हैं. हमारे यहाँ बिजनेस है, हमारे यहाँ कस्टमर है, मैन पावर है, मशीन्स है, फाइनेंस देने वाले बैंक्स है, सिडबी है, लेकिन हमारे पास पावर नहीं है. यहाँ अभी बहुत सारे हमारे दोस्त मौजूद हैं, रोज़ 4-5 बार पावर जाती है. और गवर्नमेंट, मैं इंडस्ट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करता हूँ. मस्सिया हमारी 1500 MSME की संगठन है. हम डायरेक्ट CM DCM से बात करते हैं. DCM हमारे ऊर्जा मंत्री है. हमने उनको मिलने का बहुत ट्राई किया, लेकिन टाइम नहीं देते हैं. हमारी छोटी छोटी बातें रहती है. अगर गवर्नमेंट ने थोड़ा सपोर्ट किया तो हम आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. हमारा कॉम्पिटिटर कौन है? चाइना है, देन जापान है. अगर बेसिक जो चीज़ें गवर्नमेंट नहीं दे सकती तो हम आगे कैसे जाएंगे?
Right. So, Shivani, I'm sure you must have heard this about a lot of clusters throughout the country. These are the challenges which are faced in smaller regions, especially non-cities, and that is why there is this skewed number difference, with cities and non-cities. Are there any measures that can be taken apart from government to balance this out?
I think government plays a very important role because they are our policy makers, they are our leaders, and they give us the direction, or they give us the means to actually achieve the objective that we want to achieve. But more than that, I think what really stands out in a lot of clusters is a very strong business community and a very strong spirit in all of the business people in that particular community to succeed and to keep trying. I think as Sir said, हम कोशिश करते हैं मिलने के लिए पर टाइम नहीं देते बट पॉइंट इज़ कि आप दोबारा टाइम के लिए पूछ रहे हैं एंड दैट्स आई थिंक द मैक्सिमम दैट एटलीस्ट द बिजनेस कम्युनिटी कैन डू which is to band together, which is to support each other, which is to share knowledge, and which is to actually ask equally for everybody and for the benefit of the industry and for the economic landscape. And not just look at your own personal means. And I think that is what will actually lead to the more sustainable growth, or will lead to that response that is needed time and again.
Yes, so we will hope that all of these challenges are, someday in the near future, because right now, like we spoke, that the infrastructural development is happening at a large space and in a great speed. So I'm sure these are smaller issues which can be tackled in the near future, and very soon we would see flourishing industrial sector in this entire Marathwada region. And like Sir said, lots of entrepreneurs will come up from this region. So all the best to all of you. Thank you so much, dear Mr. Patil, Mr. Raithatha, and Shivani.
I will like to add one point actually. You have said the infrastructure is in place.
It's getting better.
Yeah, no, it is getting better. I'm for it actually. But we don't realize and we don't utilize the potential of this infrastructure actually. I will just give one example. If I get an email at around 12 noon from my customer in Dubai that I need a spare bearing. I need a spare bearing. By 2 o'clock, my people will pack the bearing, keep the documentation ready, call the Blue Dart. There is a packet at the gate. Blue Dart person picks up the packet at 4 o'clock from my factory. It comes to Aurangabad at about 6 o'clock. शाम की फ्लाइट से वो मुंबई जाता है. नेक्स्ट डे मॉर्निंग 7 बजे की फ्लाइट से वो दुबई निकलता है. 7 बजे की मुंबई से निकले वाली फ्लाइट अराउंड 8 बजे दुबई लैंड होती है. 12 बजे वो बेरिंग एक्चुअली मेरे कस्टमर को डिलीवर होता है एक्चुअली. दिस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज अवेलेबल for a person in Jalna. Are we utilizing it actually? हमको पता भी नहीं है कि मैं दुबई के कस्टमर को यहाँ से स्पेयर एक दिन में भेज सकता हूँ. कलकत्ता भेजने को 3 दिन लगते हैं सर. आसाम भेजने को 4 से 5 दिन लगते हैं. But Dubai you can send it in a day. So MSME के अंदर हमको ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को कैसे हमको लिवरेज करना है फॉर एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट. इसके लिए हमको MSME को एक्सपोर्ट फ्रेंडली बनाना चाहिए. एंड आई विल अपील टू सिडबी के MSME एक्सपोर्ट का है ना क्लस्टर बनना चाहिए एक्चुअली. क्लस्टर बनना चाहिए एक्चुअली. And that can happen just because now port is available from Jalna, Aurangabad. This axis can become a export hub actually.
Yes.
Thank
so
you.
that exactly shows why an entrepreneur is different and how an entrepreneur can actually seek an opportunity in the challenges that you generally have. Sir, I think if you can just keep it very short. Yes.
मैडम, हमने अभी ठान लिया इंडस्ट्री ने कि भारत का अगला महानगर छत्रपति संभाजीनगर और जालना ट्विन सिटी है हमारी, क्योंकि हमको हमारी बहुत अच्छी इतिहास है। हमारा शहर 2 बार भारत का राजधानी था, कैपिटल था, तो हम वो करके दिखाने वाले अगेंस्ट ऑल ऑड्स। थैंक यू।
We wish you all the best, and let's hope for a great future of this region. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers, and I would now request Mayuri to hand over the mementos to all our speakers for joining us here and sharing their insights about the industry and actually giving us the real world learnings to benefit to all the MSMEs here. A round of applause for all the speakers of the panel present here with us today. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us here today. Moving ahead, now we're moving ahead towards our final session for the evening. And for the same, I would be introducing you all to Mr. Anjani Kumar Srivastav, General Manager, SIDBI. He is a civil engineer from the University of Delhi and has about 28 years of experience in development banking in SIDBI. Having joined SIDBI in 1994, he has worked in various operational areas of the bank like direct credit to MSMEs, receivable financing, infrastructure financing, stressed asset management, NPA management, human resources, and so on. He was instrumental in setting up an asset reconstruction company for SIDBI. He has been CFO at Mudra, which is subsidiary of SIDBI. Currently, he's heading SIDBI's Pune regional office with a jurisdiction across Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Daman. So let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Anjani Kumar Srivastav.
नमस्कार। फिर से एक बार इस सभा में आप सबका स्वागत है सिडबी की तरफ से। इस पे नहीं बोलूँगा। आप सबके बीच आकर के बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है। आप सब एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, एमएसएमई उद्योगपति हैं और अपने अपने उद्योग चला रहे हैं। आजकल के जो दौर चल रहा है वो बड़ा चैलेंजिंग भी है और बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग भी है। चैलेंजिंग इसलिए है कि हम देख ही रहे हैं, भाई जीएसटी आया, उसमें कितनी परेशानियां हुई। उसके बाद फिर जो है नोटबंदी सॉरी लिख के लाओ तो यही गड़बड़ होती है। नोटबंदी आई तो गड़बड़ हुई, फिर कोविड आया, फिर परेशानी, फिर उसके बाद यूक्रेन वॉर आया, फिर परेशानी, उसके बाद फिर कुछ ना कुछ लगा ही रहता है। और उसके बावजूद भी आप लोग जो हैं पसीना बहा रहे हैं, सरकार से जूझ रहे हैं, अपनी इंडस्ट्री से जूझ रहे हैं, वर्कर से जूझ रहे हैं। किसी तरह से इंडस्ट्री चलती रहे, इनकम आता रहे, यूनिट चलती रहे। आप लोग कितने कितने परिवारों का पालन पोषण कर रहे हैं, उन सब का भी आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ता है। कहीं ना कहीं आप लोग को अपनी जिम्मेदारी लगती है। साथ ही इंटरेस्टिंग टाइम्स क्यों बोलेंगे, क्योंकि भाई एक आशा है सबके दिल में, आज की तारीख में एक उमंग है सबके दिल में कि एज अ कंट्री, एज अ देश, हमारा देश कहीं जा रहा है, एक चेंज नज़र आता है, एक सबके बातचीत में एक होप दिखता है, क्योंकि शायद कहीं ना कहीं हम ये देख रहे हैं कि भाई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इम्प्रूव हो रहा है, जो चीज़ें जो हैं वो व्यवस्थित हो रही हैं। हाँ, खामियां हैं, बट बोलते हैं उसको वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस है और उस पर काम किया जा रहा है, तो एक कहीं ना कहीं होप है। और जहाँ तक एमएसएमई क्रेडिट की बात है, तो हम देख रहे हैं भाई जीएसटी आया ज़रूर, लेकिन जीएसटी से कितनी चीज़ें एमएसएमई क्रेडिट में इम्प्रूव हुई हैं, वो एक चेंज दिखता है। जीएसटी आया, आईटी रिटर्न्स काफ़ी व्यवस्थित हो गई, बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स आ गए, इन तीनों को मिला करके जो एक इंफॉर्मेशन, एक डाटा का जो एक ट्रायम्विरेट बना, जो एक ये बना, एक उससे जो इंफॉर्मेशन निकल के आता है, उससे एमएसएमई क्रेडिट आज की तारीख में बड़ा ही स्मूथ हो रहा है धीरे धीरे। और आप देखते होंगे, जो पुराने लोग हैं वो देखते होंगे कि पहले बैंक लोन जो है 6-6 महीना बैंक में पड़े रहते थे, आज की तारीख में हर संस्था ये चाहती है कि हम जल्दी से जल्दी लोन दे सकें। और मुझे खुशी है सिडबी में कि हम इस लोन को ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि 1 घंटे में, 2 घंटे में ये लोन आपको प्रदान कर सकें। कहाँ चले गए? सो जहाँ तक सिडबी का सवाल है, सिडबी हम कहते हैं कि वन स्टॉप शॉप है और हम कई तरह के लोन्स आपको देने की व्यवस्था रखते हैं। पहला हमारा जो है वो प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंस है। प्रोजेक्ट आप किसी तरह का भी लगाइए, ब्राउन फील्ड लगाइए या ग्रीन फील्ड लगाना चाहते हैं। दूसरा हमारा मशीनरी फाइनेंस है, जहाँ पे आप प्रॉब्ली किसी तरह का मशीन खरीदना चाहते हैं या कई मशीन्स खरीदना चाहते हैं, उसमें हमारा स्पीड और एक्सप्रेस करके स्कीम है, मैं डिटेल में आऊँगा। फिर तीसरा ग्रीन फाइनेंस है। ग्रीन फाइनेंस इसलिए सिडबी लाई है कि क्योंकि सबको पता है ग्लोबल वार्मिंग आज का जो चैलेंज है, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग आ रही है और हर आदमी का, हर व्यक्ति का, हर संस्था का, हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का ये जिम्मेदारी आज की तारीख में बनता है कि वे जो है कम से कम एमिशंस अपना निकालें और कम से कम जितना भी एनर्जी एफिशिएंट अपने प्रोडक्शन को बनाएं, अपनी सिस्टम्स को बनाएं। तो उसमें हमारा ग्रीन फाइनेंस स्कीम है और 4E फाइनेंसिंग स्कीम है और अंत में वर्किंग कैपिटल का हम लोग फैसिलिटी देते हैं। नए प्रोजेक्ट्स जहाँ की बात है, ग्रीन फील्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स की बात है, तो हमारा एक स्कीम है स्थापन, जिसमें हम 50 करोड़ तक का लोन देते हैं और इसमें आप किसी भी तरीके का नया प्रोजेक्ट आप सेटअप कर सकते हैं, बशर्ते आपका कुछ एक्सपीरियंस उस लाइन में हो, उस लाइन में, उस एक्टिविटी में, या तो आप ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हो या आप सिमिलर एक्टिविटी कर रहे हो, तो आप उसमें कर सकते हैं। इसमें हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि आप प्रमोटर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है 25% तक लाएंगे। टेनर जो है हम आपको 10 साल का देते हैं और आपके बिजनेस को देख के किस तरह के कैश फ्लोज आपके बनेंगे, उसके हिसाब से उसका रिपेमेंट शेड्यूल बनाते हैं। दूसरा जो मशीनरी फाइनेंस का स्कीम है वो है अराइज, जिसको हम बोलते हैं। उसमें हम ब्राउन फील्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स को आपके सपोर्ट करते हैं। इसमें हम ये एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि आपका कम से कम 2 साल का एग्जिस्टेंस हो और आपके लास्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर में कैश प्रॉफिट हो। इसमें भी हम आपको 50 करोड़ तक का लोन देते हैं। मिनिमम कंट्रीब्यूशन 25% रखते हैं और इसमें भी 7 साल तक के लोन हम आपको मॉरेटोरियम के साथ दे सकते हैं। जहाँ तक मशीनरी फाइनेंस की एक और स्कीम हमारी है जिसको हम बोलते हैं स्पीड, इसमें भी हम आपको 50 करोड़ तक का लोन देते हैं और हमारा प्रोसेस, जैसे हमारे डीएमडी साहब ने बताया कि पूरा प्रोसेस जो है हमारा डिजिटल है। चाहे आपको लोन अप्लाई करना हो, हमारी वेबसाइट पे उसका लिंक है, वेबसाइट पे जाइए, उस लिंक पे अप्लाई करिए और चाहे तो आप खुद भर सकते हैं और अगर आपको भरने में दिक्कत आ रही है तो हमारे ऑफिस को कांटेक्ट कीजिए, हमारा ऑफिस आपको प्रॉपरली हैंड होल्ड करेगा, एक एक स्टेप पे आपको हैंडल करेगा और कैसे उसको भर करके कंप्लीट करना है वो आपको मदद करेगा। और वो एप्लीकेशन से हम जो अपना इंटरनल प्रोसेसेस भी जो हैं वो पूरा डिजिटल है, चाहे वो सैंक्शन का प्रोसेस हो, चाहे सैंक्शन के बाद डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का प्रोसेस हो, और डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के बाद फाइनली डिसबर्समेंट का प्रोसेस हो, पूरा एंड टू एंड डिजिटल प्रोसेस है हमारा, और पैसा आपके खाते में ऑटोमेटिकली पहुंच जाता है। कोई चेक का, खैर चेक तो आज की तारीख में हिस्ट्री हो गया है। इसमें भी हम आपको 100% फाइनेंस तक दे सकते हैं। मान लीजिए कोई आप जो है मशीन खरीदना चाहते हैं तो हम उसके फुल वैल्यू तक इंक्लूडिंग जीएसटी आपको जो है सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। इसमें हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट ये रहती है कि आप 3 साल का एग्जिस्टिंग ऑपरेशन हो और कैश प्रॉफिट्स हो। ये हमारा जो स्कीम है एक्सप्रेस, ये एक बड़ा ही इंटरेस्टिंग स्कीम है जिसमें कोई भी मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन नहीं है। जो पहले के स्कीम्स मैंने बताए थे उसमें फिर भी हमारे ऑफिसर्स लगते हैं, भाई उनको सैंक्शन नोट बनाना है, बाद में डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करना है, डिसबर्समेंट का नोट बनाते हैं मीन्स अंदर डॉक्यूमेंट कागज वागज बनाते पड़ते हैं, तो उसमें एक मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन होता है। ये जो है प्रोसेस, ये बिल्कुल स्ट्रेट थ्रू प्रोसेस बोलते हैं। इसमें आपने जैसे ही वेबसाइट पे अप्लाई किया, वो हम आजकल जो बिजनेस रूल्स बनते हैं, आजकल भाई कंप्यूटराइजेशन का ज़माना है, तो जो कंप्यूटर्स में बिजनेस रूल इस तरह के बने हुए हैं कि वो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके जीएसटी को, आपके आईटी रिटर्न को, आपके बैंक स्टेटमेंट को, ऑफ कोर्स ये इन्फॉर्मेशन आपको देना पड़ेगा, इसके बेसिस पर, और वो जो है आपको एक लोन सैंक्शन करेगा। और 30 मिनट से 1 घंटा, 30 मिनट तो बोलते हैं, पर 1 घंटा के अंदर जो है वो आपको लोन सैंक्शन करके एक बता देता है कि ये अमाउंट आपको सैंक्शन हो गया है। और फिर जैसा बताया गया कि एक विजिट करके हम आपको आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से उसको डिसबर्स कर देते हैं। तो ये कम्प्लीटली ही एक ऑटोमेटेड प्रोसेस है। जहाँ तक ग्रीनिंग ऑफ एमएस इकोसिस्टम की बात है, हम 20 करोड़ तक के लोन्स देते हैं, और इसमें एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी हो, चाहे क्लाइमेट चेंज हो, चाहे रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी हो, ग्रीन सस्टेनेबल सोल्यूशन, वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, ई मोबिलिटी, वाटर ट्रीटमेंट, ग्रीन बिल्डिंग, ये सारी की सारी जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज़, जितने भी ये जो एरियाज़ हैं, इन सब में हम ये ग्रीन फाइनेंस स्कीम ऑफ़र करते हैं। इसमें ख़ास बात एक चीज़ मैं कहना चाहूँगा, इनफैक्ट पाटिल जी ने भी बोला और आपने भी बोला कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की आप लोग की काफ़ी दिक्कत हो रही है, तो हम इसमें सोलर फाइनेंसिंग करते हैं, ये मैं आपको कहना चाहता हूँ। और सोलर फाइनेंसिंग एज यू नो कि भाई सूर्य की ऊर्जा को हम लोग इसमें इस्तेमाल करते हैं, और आज की तारीख में नेट मीटरिंग को लेकर के, जीएसटी को लेकर के ये देखा गया है कि जैसे ही आप सोलर अपना यूनिट लगाते हैं, डे 1 से वो आपको इनकम देती है। और ये देखा गया है कि 1 से 2 साल के अंदर आप उसका कॉस्ट जो है पूरा रिकूप कर लेते हैं। तो मेरी आप लोग से ये रिक्वेस्ट होगी कि सोचिए इस विषय में कि आपको अगर एमएससी जो भी पावर कंपनी है आपकी, उससे दिक्कत हो रही है, तो आप आइदर इंडिविजुअली या एज अ ग्रुप आप लोग जो है सोच करके, ग्रुप कैप्टिव जो होता है उसमें सोलर का जो है प्लांट लगा सकते हैं, और सिडबी आपको मदद करेगा। ये 20 करोड़ तो आपके इंडिविजुअल प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए है। अगर आप किसी रेस्को के थ्रू आते हैं तो ये अमाउंट हम आपको 50 करोड़ तक भी दे सकते हैं। इसी तरह से जो सोलर वाली स्कीम है वो हमारी एक्चुअली 4E फाइनेंसिंग स्कीम के तहत आती है, तो इसमें हम आपको इनफैक्ट 100% फाइनेंसिंग भी कर सकते हैं। तो प्रमोटर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन में नहीं लाना पड़ता। हाँ, एज अ कोलैटरल हम आपसे कुछ फिक्स डिपॉजिट लेते हैं 20 से 25% का, तो वो हम आपसे लेंगे। इसमें वर्किंग कैपिटल की हमारी फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, कैश क्रेडिट फैसिलिटी, ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और वर्किंग कैपिटल फैसिलिटी। जैसे कोई आम बैंक देता है वैसे हम भी देते हैं। फ़र्क इतना है कि हम चूँकि एक बैंक नहीं है, हम एक डेवलपमेंटल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन है, तो हम किसी दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे, IDBI का प्लेटफॉर्म हुआ या येस बैंक का प्लेटफॉर्म हुआ, उस पे ऑपरेट करके आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल देते हैं। जहाँ तक हमारी बाकी स्कीम्स हैं, हम लोग टेक ओवर के लिए भी मदद देते हैं। विमेन और SC/STs के लिए हमारे पास स्पेशल स्कीम्स हैं, जहाँ पर हम आपको एक मार्जिनल लोअर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट और लोअर अपफ्रंट फी उसमें चार्ज करते हैं। लोन अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी जो एक स्टैंडर्ड बिजनेस बैंकिंग प्रोडक्ट है वो भी देते हैं। क्या अलग देते हैं ये भी इसमें बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। हम लोग के पास एक प्रिविलेज कस्टमर स्कीम है। प्रिविलेज कस्टमर स्कीम में जब आप हमारे 2 साल तक कस्टमर लगातार रहते हैं या 3 साल तक रहते हैं या 5 साल तक रहते हैं तो हम आपको ऑटोमेटिकली एक लोन देते हैं, ऑफर करते हैं, और उसमें ये रहता है कि आप ले करके आप अपने किसी भी बिजनेस एक्सपेंडिचर में आप उसका इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, चाहे मशीनरी खरीदनी हो, चाहे कंस्ट्रक्शन करना हो, चाहे आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए लेना हो, आप हमसे उतना अमाउंट ले लीजिए। ये अमाउंट वेरी करता है, जैसे सिल्वर के लिए हम आपको 1 करोड़ तक देते हैं और प्लैटिनम के लिए 3 करोड़ तक देते हैं, तो वेरी करता है। लेकिन जो है आप किसी भी बोनाफाइड बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट के लिए इसको इस्तेमाल करके और आप हमको बाद में इसका एंड यूटिलाइजेशन आप हमको दे करके जो है इस स्कीम का बेनिफिट ले सकते हैं। आइए हमसे जुड़िए, कोशिश करिए कि एक बार जब भी आपको फंड्स की ज़रूरत हो तो एक बार सिडबी में एक दस्तक दे करके आप जो है आएँ और हमारे साथ चाय पिएं। हमारे यहाँ पे ब्रांच मैनेजर हैं मनोज सहयोगी जी, और ये आपकी ज़रूर मदद करेंगे। ये है इनकी टीम है, ये आपको एप्लीकेशन भरने में, आपको स्कीम्स के बारे में बताने में जो है जो भी है वो मदद करेंगे। एक बात और कहना चाहूँगा, जहाँ तक क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट की काफ़ी बात हो रही थी, तो और जहाँ तक महाराष्ट्र में जो MSME इकोसिस्टम के डेवलपमेंट की बात है, तो 2 स्कीम्स का मैं ज़रूर जिक्र करना चाहूँगा। एक जो है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ MSME का जो MSc CDP स्कीम है, जिसके तहत काफ़ी सारे क्लस्टर्स आते हैं, तो मेरी आपसे गुजारिश है कि इस तरह के क्लस्टर्स आप बनाइए, अपने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को दीजिए, एंड सिडबी उन प्रोजेक्ट्स को अप्रेज करके मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ MSME में भेजता है, तो ये सिडबी का उसमें काफ़ी अहम रोल रहता है उसमें। तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्लस्टर्स आप लोग जुड़िए, साथ में क्लस्टर्स को कंसीव करिए और जो है प्रोजेक्ट्स लाइए। दूसरा, जो जैसे हमारे सीनियर्स ने बताया कि सिडबी क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट फंड स्कीम है, तो ये स्कीम ऐसी स्कीम है जो हम स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को देते हैं, लोन देते हैं क्लस्टर्स, नए क्लस्टर्स को बनाने के लिए या एग्जिस्टिंग क्लस्टर्स को मॉडर्नाइज करने के लिए। बट ये है कि इस स्कीम को यूटिलाइजेशन गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से हमें वो रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिल रहा, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से वो डिमांड नहीं आ रही। तो मेरा इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशन से ये रिक्वेस्ट रहेगा कि वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट स्कीम समझ करके वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से भी रिक्वेस्ट करें, हम लोग भी रिक्वेस्ट करके, एंड लेट अस मेक ऑल दीज क्लस्टर्स अ वर्ल्ड क्लास क्लस्टर। सो इसी के साथ मैं आप सबका फिर से एक बार धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा। धन्यवाद।
Sir, I would request you to please be here on stage with us. We would like to thank him for this wonderful session. A round of applause for him for that. And I would request Ms. Neha Devan to come forward and present a token of appreciation, a memento to sir for joining us here. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here. So now we are opening it for a Q&A session, for a Q&A round. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hands. Yes.
सर मराठीत बोलून चालेल?
मराठीत मुश्किल होगा।
मैंने अभी
ठीक है, कोई नहीं, बोलिए, मराठी में बोलिए।
हां, मी आत्ताच OPC कंपनीसाठी ॲप्लिकेशन केलं आहे, तर माझ्याकडे GST रजिस्ट्रेशन वगैरे आता काहीही नाही आहे, तर मला असं लोन मिळू शकेल का? कारण आता इलेक्शन लागले, इलेक्शनमुळे आता सगळा कंपनी बनण्याच्या दृष्टीने वगैरे सगळा वेळ जाणार आहे, तर मग त्याच्याशी पर्याय काय GST रजिस्ट्रेशनसाठी?
हॅलो हॅलो
उद्यम अंतर्गत रजिस्टर झालेलं युनिट DP
IITचं रिकग्निशन त्याला मिळतं का? म्हणजे स्टार्टअप ची एलिजिबिलिटी आहे का? सरांना प्रश्न आहे माझा की त्याला स्टार्टअपचं रिकग्निशन मिळतं का? DPP IITच्या उद्यमला हो नाही, परंतु ते करत नाही आहेत. त्यांना LLP आणि प्रायव्हेट लिमिटेडसाठीच ते जास्त प्रेस करतात, कारण प्रोप्रायटरशिप त्याच्यामध्ये आहे पण ते करत नाही. हो सर. हो.
आणि त्यामध्ये न्यू आयडियाज
हो
अशा गोष्टी लागतात की ज्या एक्झिस्टिंग तुमची जी एंटरप्राइज ॲक्टिव्हिटी चालू आहे ती एक्झिस्टिंग आहे, त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त नवीन आयडियाज जी असेल ती तुम्हाला DIPP कडे रजिस्टर करावी लागेल.
हो, तर नवी आयडिया आहे, परंतु ते युनिट जे आमचं
तुम्हाला ते
LLP नाही आहे किंवा प्रायव्हेट लिमिटेड पण नाही.
त्यांच्या टर्म्स कंडिशन्स या डिफरंट आहेत रजिस्ट्रेशनच्या, त्या तुम्हाला रेफर कराव्याच लागतील, त्यात एक्सक्यूज नाही करायचं.
थँक्यू सर.
Hello, myself is Shiv Prasad Jaju. I am ex-president of Chamber of Marathwada Industry and Agriculture. I have 2 points to suggest. First point to Economics Times, that there is a very serious amendment in Income Tax Act 43B. And it is, everybody knows, and there is lot of confusion happening around MSME segment, that you need to pay MSME within 45 days. That means at 31st March, whatever outstanding is there, you have to pay entire tax on that. And this 43B income tax amendment also insists that you have to pay interest on entire liability, what is there on from 1st April 2023, rate of interest you have to pay to the suppliers. So nobody is still not aware of much. So Economics Times is such a big news channel. They have to put an article on that. Even there are a lot of charter accountants who are get confused. Somebody is telling that it is now postponed up to 2025. It is not so. So my request to Economics Times to clarify this matter, the Amendment Income Tax Act 43B for MSME. Second, my suggestion to SIDBI, see, in government of Maharashtra having lot of subsidies, and it is always a delay of 8 to 9 months for providing that subsidy because of funds are not available. When I was a president of chamber, I suggested this to Punjab National Bank, I suggested to even State Bank of India, that why not some bank take this opportunity, because lakhs of funds are there. Government of Maharashtra is guarantee for that funds. There should be a memorandum or some mutual understanding between SIDBI, entrepreneur and government of Maharashtra. So SIDBI will release that funds to the entrepreneurs, and those are the government funds. Today or tomorrow they will get it. The delayed period they can charge the interest. So this amount is huge. Even when I talked to SBI General Manager long back, he was agreed, but he did not turn out. I talked to even CMD of Punjab National Bank. He was very much aggressive in that, but he didn't turn out. I think SIDBI can. So this is my suggestion about the state subsidy, which is sanctioned to the entrepreneur. You can release it immediately and charge the rate of interest on that. It is as good as a bond. So these are two suggestions. One is for Economics Times and another is for SIDBI. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello seniors, I am Abhishek Thete from Last Line. Actually I am from Skies Research and Development Organization. I want to ask one question to SIDBI General Manager and Branch Manager. Can you fund to technology development, because I have startup recognition certificate for defense technology. Is there any criteria or any scheme for developing technology or doing research?
Right now for research we don't have any scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think if you go to an incubation center, probably that will be a right place to go. Okay. So there probably the funding that they get, they may be in a position to help you.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
See, when you are giving a loan, you are basically trying to understand whether there is any cash flow coming out of that project. Okay, whether any revenues are coming from that project, based on which you can service that loan. See, you have to understand why is a loan taken first of all. A loan is taken for you to do some productive activity. Consumer loans and those loans are different. But when you take a business loan or a project loan, you are basically creating some asset which will generate some income and pay back the loan. But research is a very different kind of a thing, where probably you need some kind of a grant support or some kind of seed funding support, that kind of a support. Okay.
Okay, so we'll take last 2 questions, and post that whatever questions you have can be taken offline during our dinner and networking. So last 2 questions we can take.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah, good evening. Thanks to Economic Times for fantastic, something to start upon. Second thing, my question is to SIDBI. I have 2 queries. First query is, how do you promote your promoters? Means SIDBI is associated with Yes Bank or IDBI Bank, etc. So IDBI Bank, Yes Bank, how they are promoting the SIDBI finance schemes, including government stakes. And second question is, as I visit to the State Bank or some other private or government banks, they don't promote SIDBI, either they don't promote government schemes. They don't even bother about, development kind of things, activities, nothing like it. I'm basically stagnant upon only one thing. If I go to MIDC something, there is multiple activities, photo session, firecrackers. Boss, we have allocated so much so land, and they are, allocating so much so lands and all. And when you go to the MIDC, then there are separate shops. Boss, you need electricity, go to electricity shop. You need water, you go to water shop. You need signage, you go to signage shop. If you need CA, if you need GST, you go to the GST shop. Is there any simple, single, one-stop shop is arranged for the, exercising the entire, forum of MSME? Means if you are developing a, ecosystem of, multiple sectors of multiple industries and all, there should be one-stop shop for all. Thank you.
It's a tough thing which you're asking.
Yeah,
actually,
very tough thing.
Because,
we are basically fed up with the multiple taxes system.
Absolutely.
The point is already raised.
See, because every area which you're talking is a very specialized area, and all of them converging into one single window. No, it's okay.
I think the last question I just wanted to ask. Are you done? Sir, are you done?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm actually originally Aurangabadkar and now become Punekar. So I especially came here to find out what's going on in my town. I represent MCCIA and a semiconductor ecosystem development group recently formed. And I believe that can also answer question asked by one of the candidates behind, that can we do some research? So I think in Pune, we are nurturing those things. And I would also request SIDBI, I'm sure you must have done a lot of events in Pune, but many MSMEs are not fully aware. So maybe I would request you to, or invite you to MCCIA for a short session to give us latest schemes from SIDBI. Thank you.
We are actively in touch with MCCI, and we are always coming there for programs.
So do SIDBI offer funds? It's a development bank basically. So do SIDBI offer some kind of funds for development of private clusters no, private, no, for example, a team of industrialists want to set up a special economic zone kind of thing, to develop a cluster of their own. They want to acquire land and build the facilities over there. Is there any kind of provision for that? Because I think there is a lot of challenges which are coming from the government, as he's rightly pointed out, that there are a lot of things a single entrepreneur has to do. If a group of people come together and request a bank for a special purpose fund for development of that cluster, is it possible? So while SIDBI may not be doing, but the Ministry of MSME has this scheme of MSE CDP, where in fact a certain portion of the funds has to be brought in by the members of the cluster, and the government of state government and the central government give a substantial portion as grant. In fact, the grant level goes up right up to 70 to 85%. Mr. From MSME DFO, I think you can clarify that.
Sir, in our MSME CDP cluster scheme, the contribution of state government is compulsory. So we are unable to finance through such private clusters or to take up such private clusters. Right now it is a limitation of MSE CDP guideline. But of course, if some suggestions have been gone through the industry associations, they might think of amending this guideline in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much everyone for joining us here. A round of applause for each one of you for being present here with us and sharing your insights. We hope you found the sessions knowledgeable and you're taking home some learnings which will help you grow your businesses. So now we are proceeding towards dinner, and do not forget to follow Economic Times for such conclaves, and do use this dinner opportunity to build connections and for networking. Remember, we need to grow as a team and we have a vision to achieve together. Once again, we thank each one of you for giving us your valuable time and joining us here and making this conclave so successful and so special. Thank you so much.